Already recording. Really is already recording. Yeah, it is. Okay. It's all right. Trying to find me a lighter. Oh, yesterday. I hope my mic is good. I mean, I don't here.
Pairing. Bluetooth connected.
We're good. I can hear myself. Good. So I'm starting this at 7:43 Central Time, my time. A little late. I had to get myself together, make myself a tea, get the energies right in my vessel as well. I'm drinking some passion flower with mugwort. I had to fix the lightning behind me. Wait, this way it will look a lot better. It seems too dark. I didn't like how it was looking on video. So yeah, again, this is not going to be live on YouTube. I'm gonna get it done. I want to be as fast as I can as possible. There's over 30 something slides on this presentation, so we're gonna be covering a lot of good material. It's Rise of the Christ Soldier, right? So we're gonna go deep. Um, I'm gonna stay away from doing a lot of reading because I noticed last night I chopped up a lot of words. Here's the thing: I love to read, right? But you know, some words are just not for me. You know, they're not my vocabulary. But the information is still clear, right? You can still get the information still there, right? So information is gonna be there, right? So what I'm gonna start doing from now on, like when I do a live on YouTube, I'm not gonna go into any type of presentations. We're just gonna go into discussion, right? Just go in with some valid discussion, valid information, you know. But when I go into presentation, then I'll just do it just from Zoom and just do it later. I do have to figure it out how to go ahead and get it right because I know I used to do it before. I used to be able to do presentations on Zoom and then do it on YouTube at the same time. Um, it's been a while, so I just have to just remember again how I was doing it. Or like, I want to know, like my insights. All right, I had to go to my wedding matches. I like using the wooden matches when I'm doing like when I light my candles. It has a spirit, right? It's an incense. When it's coming to stuff like this, I guess it's always better to just do what it matches. That's big. Nice. There you go. And it burn faster if it's completely lit. So yeah, the lighting right now looks okay. Looks a lot better than it did yesterday. So it's a good thing. So it looks like I got the sun behind me or some shit, right? Like, oh, let's take this sun, you know? Yeah, so we're starting a little late. That's okay. You know, this is gonna be a good presentation. Um, I kind of slept in a little bit today. I don't know, ate kind of late last night. I ordered me a gyro. Oh my god, that gyro was so delicious, but I think it was a little too heavy on my stomach. Um, so it messed up my stomach when I tried to fall asleep, and I got up really early. Probably like a lot of you know gases in the belly, and it's like like acids. I had to get up and vomit a little bit, get rid of some of the acid reflux I had in my stomach. I was up for a while when I got up in the morning. Then I slept kind of late too. I was up just chilling, watching TV. After eating the gyro, I wanted some sweets, and I'm like a little child again. I ordered some candy, and I was just like, yo, like, okay, it's all good. Got some candy with some popcorn. So I guess that's what kind of must have my too, right? You know? Yeah. But so when I did finally fall back to sleep again, I woke up a little late. So that means if I woke up a little late, I had late breakfast. I like no matter what time it is for me, I gotta have my breakfast and eggs. Like I need to have my. Well, lately I've changed my intake of bacon instead of being pork. It's gonna be turkey. I changed my intake of chorizo, the Mexican sausage, instead of it being like pork sausage. It's gonna be soy, something like plant based or whatever, instead of it being pork. So today, what I did, I cut up some good ass potatoes, cut up the potatoes, onion, and I have nothing to put on the side, So I was like, "Fuck it, that's fine. I just go ahead and just get my eggs and cut up the potatoes and the onions, and I made me a nice." Actually, I haven't even tried the salsa, but I made a bacon and salsa earlier too. She was hot though. I tasted a little bit of it. It's fire. So I ate kind of a late breakfast, but yeah, I had to get it in. You know, let me go ahead and start getting myself together. I had to clean up my kitchen and just do a lot of things around the house first. Like, I started taking care of myself, take care of my son too. I was like, all right, let's go ahead and get this done. We can take it later. I mean, knock it out. So this is how I'm spending my New Year's Eve, which is awesome because yo, if this is that needs to get done, right? Let me fix my headset a little bit. So yeah, it's like go ahead and just get started already. Let me make me a nice tea. Uh, the mugwort, passion flower together. Oh, what's happening? Because this is something I normally would smoke, and if I like smoking, I just want to make me a nice tea and drink it. So let's get started. Let me go and share my screen, make sure it's pretty good. So here we go. The rise of the Christo Oil. I like that. I did that at AI art. Pretty dope. So Genesis 32:30. So Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, saying, "For I seen God face to face, and yet my life has been delivered." So this is basically you seeing God face to face. You're the God seeing God face to face. Son, right? Your pineal is, of course, your pineal gland seeing God face to face, right? So Jacob called this place. Jacob is Jacob's ladder, the rise of Christo Oil. Okay. So this is the pineal gland. It's a terrible thing to waste. Like, no shit. It really is. Right? You got to think about too, like, why do they use so hard to classify your pineal? And how do they do that? With fluoride, right? Fluoride in your water, fluoride in your toothpaste. And of course, if the sun feeds you, your pineal, this is the light of the body. If it feeds you, the sun feeds this. This is connected to what? Right? So, and they're blocking the sun for a reason. As above, so below. As within, so also everything that goes up above, they're trying to make it happen below, within you. Right? They're trying to stop certain things from happening, from activating, basically. Right? It says here, focus vision to one single point. Right? It says we process ultraviolet light directed by spirit manifests. Manism, mansun, man, a lot of sense. So the ultraviolet light process in the pineal gland, right? Again, nothing new under the sun, nothing new inner or above the sun. You know, again, another is Genesis 32:31. Sun rose upon him as he passed, maybe because of his hip, right? The sun rose. What do it mean by the sun roses? That the sun that rises passes through the pineal, leaping because of the hip. Jacob's ladder. Again, going back to Jacob's ladder, right? So here we go. We have this is one of the ancient signs of the Aztecs. This is also considered the All-Seeing Eye. This is actually before ancient Kemet or before Eye of Horus. This was it. This is the ancient eye. Nahui Olet. Nah nah Nahayua. Or Nahuyi Olet. With a single eye, basically. The Aztec symbol of movement, the seismic changes, transmutation, and disorder. The Ulin is associated with Expotle, the god of sunset and shifting shapes. Right? The god of sunset and shifting shapes. Because it's shifting the shape of what? I. It's transmuting, transmutation. It's transmuting, right? The transmutation, which in your eye that is being transformed. And I talked about that yesterday when I was going over the transformers, right? More than meets the eye, right? So Olin, Olin means movement or motion, depicted in the Aztec codex as two interlaced lines, each having two central ends. It almost looks like two handshakes, two hands shaking. Okay? And then you have, if you look at this right here, that also it looks like the compass of the Freemason, right? This is like a triangle, Right? This is the triangle. This is like the compass, and then you got the eye in between. So that's yeah, like I said yesterday, how we were the original Masons. It's right there, clear as day. And then what colors do you see here? Red and blue, right? You know, and then you got the yellow in between. That's the blue and yellow is a very significant color. It has a lot of symbology behind, between the blue and yellow. It's everywhere as well. It's already blowing fireworks over here. It's not even midnight yet. The shooting's gonna start pretty soon. So Odin is viewed as a symbolic of four preceding suns or ages in history, and the symbol itself is the fifth sun over the current world, which, just like the previous one, will be destroyed through earthquakes that will lead to darkness and famine. Right. So basically, if you think about the time we're in right now, they're trying to throw us into 3 days of darkness, and they're already creating a lot of famine as well. Okay. So, it's like I stated earlier, how this eye is actually predates the Eye of Horus. So, before the Eye of Horus was Nalonhuline, one of the central figures in the Egyptian mystery schools myths, and the Eye of Horus. Many feel the Eye of Horus is really the third eye or the pineal gland. There does seem to be a lot of similarities, at least from an anatomical point of view. Yes, there's a lot of similarities of that. Actually, this is not the third eye. This is the mind's eye. The third eye is really your solar plexus, which is that's your third eye. This is the mind's eye, which is the first eye. It's like Cyclops, your first eye. Yeah, first eye, right? That's the third eye. Your third eye is again your solar plexus, which is your solar plexus is also in relation to your second brain, and we discussed that yesterday with the presentation I did last night. Um, yeah, move my window from here a little bit. So Matthew 6:22-23. The eye is the lamp of the body. So if your eye is healthy, your whole body will be full of light. Yes. So if your eye is healthy, your whole body will be full of light, right? Because remember, this is already a light body. This is the crystalline body. The crystalline body is the body of crystal. In fact, within your pineal gland, your mind's eye, you have 72 daemons and 72 angles. And you add the 72 plus 72, you get 144, which means this is why they talk here. You hear a lot about the 144,000 chosen people, which is a bunch of crap. That's new age bullshit. In fact, you have 144 chakras within your body that you have to activate, right? So, what do you have to activate to have a more open mind's eye for your body? Be full of light, be the light. See, your eye is the lighthouse. So, your body is the lamp, right? The body is like, is of the lamp, right? So what is the lamp? Right. So, yeah, that's very interesting. So, we're gonna do some reading. I just want to kind of break this down from here before we do some reading. That's some things that I was looking at the other day. So get more receipts on that and what we're discussing. So the pine tree, the spiritual meaning of the pine tree. So remember during Christmas, what are the trees that normally people bring into their homes? They're pine trees. So the pine tree, it basically it's a symbology of also your mind's eye. Pineal is like pineapple, right? So remember, as within so without your body is also as a tree. Same thing, same symbology. Yeah, During Christmas, you bring in your pine tree. You know, during the season of Christmas for the holiday, you bring in your the pine tree, and it makes the whole house smell like pine. In fact, the smell of pine, just the smell itself, very it has a it's a very strong energy. It also protects your home. The smell of pine. I started just recently mopping my floors again with pine saw. It's very think about pine saw, right? Pine then saw SOL, right? The SOL is the sun. So yeah, the pine saw. It's just wow. It's very powerful. That energy of the pine. It cleans it. Your floor is really good. It lifts up the energy. It increases the positivity within the home. It really does give it a whole different vibration within your home because your house or your apartment is a spirit. It has a vibration as well, right? So everything is of energy, basically. Okay, so let me make sure I have no minutes in here. What are they doing? I was like, what is the copy? It was a lot easier. It was a lot easier uh, when I did, I guess, to copy and paste what I wanted to look at. Okay, so we go ahead and do another share. All right. The pine tree symbolism and the meaning explained. Pine is a common name of a genus of evergreen trees and shrubs in the family, the Pinaki, if I said that word right, which about 120 species belong. Let's learn more about symbolism. Spiritual meaning and uses. They, in general, are mostly plants that colonize new environments thanks to their light, right? Their light. What was the light? What is this called? The pineal. What is this? What is this compared to? Pineapple. And your body is what? A pine tree or tree. So they in general are mostly plants that colonize environments thanks to their light and legal pollen, which is carried by the wind. Pine tree symbolism. Being an evergreen tree symbolizes immortality and eternity. In addition to this important meaning common to all comprise, the tree also symbolizes material happiness and fertility due to the needles joined in pairs and grafted into short twigs called the bracteolas. So the fertility, huh? Like mating season, baby. Like we're in hermit mode right now. We're in hibernation mode. Like where's my woman at? Like I'm what I'm saying? Like I want, like it's fertility going on. Let's get it going. It's the season for it. Evergreen represents eternal life and immortality. The resilience symbolizes strength and resilience. The renewal signifies renewal, growth, and regeneration. Wisdom represents wisdom. longevity, and protection. Connection symbolizes connection to nature and the earth. Very interesting, right? Connection to nature and the earth. What we were talking about yesterday about this being things being stable and finding the center of the foundation when we're talking about Baphomet. So how everything is just coming together. No wonder why. To be honest, like I said yesterday, like I've been having this lecture. I was having a presentation ready since 2021, and it just I don't know. It just seemed right time to do it. But for some reason, like right now, it seems like it was the perfect time to do it. And lately, like I just been ever since like I we did that presentation last night. Like today, I just seen like a lot of synchronicity, a lot of things that are coming in that were tying into the discussion of last night. So it's like everything happened at its perfect time and when it had to happen. You get what I'm saying? Because even like with this discussion right now, where we're going over, it goes into what we were kind of like talking about yesterday, right? It goes together. Oh, wait till we go over this video that I got on TikTok. So I'm gonna pay that a little later once we get done like towards the end of this presentation, and it's gonna tie into a lot of it's like mind blowing. Of course, like all this information I already knew. This is the first time I seen this video, and it was just like tying into everything else. Like wow, like because even answered some of my questions I had going into that. Like there was a reason why I kept seeing that. I didn't keep seeing that. What it I seen it when I was with my ex in Colorado. I seen it with through other females that I was talking to. They had that. It's like what is the connection with that? And when I seen that video, that it made sense. The connection, right? That portion of it. I was like, yo, everything is coming. Everything is being answered at its right time, right? So, oh yeah, it's pretty dope. So, where are we at? Stability represents stability and grounding. Again, we were talking about the grounding yesterday. Again, grounding. So if we were just talking about like the pine saw, right? What does it do? It's energy, so it represents grounding as well. It symbolizes connection to nature and earth, right? And then it goes into protection. It goes into it's like everything that goes in on with pine. It's gonna go on with the same thing with pine saw because it's from the pine tree. You know what I'm saying? So it's all connected. All right. It says table one symbolic meaning. A pine tree. Spiritual meaning of the pine tree. The pines in Greece were uh, consecrated to which represents totally, totality. I think I said that right. And contain pairs of opposites within, configuring itself as andro androgyne, from which the creation sprang. Okay. This evergreen tree symbolizes immortality, so much so that it is risen, was used to purify and sterilize and embellish things one wanted to preserve over time. Its risen was also used in censored and what? Censors to provide the temple's sacred space to invoke the eternal. The temple's sacred space. So if we're gonna if we're putting this in relation to us, what is the sacred space? For temple, body, right? What is the what is the censor, the censor, I would say, right? This word right here, censors, is this. This is your censor. This is your sixth sense. Oh, makes sense, yo. Like, uh, okay. So the trees which arisen were used as the funerary or Christmas trees according to the Greek myth. The risen tears of this tree are the blood Attis, a beautiful young man who Billy fell in love with and became a priest of his temple, where they vowed of chastity, but Centigrade, a seductive nymph, led Antis to break the vow. Here we go again. We're talking about the Norse. We were talking about the Norse mythology yesterday, right? We're talking about Odin and stuff. Here you go again, right here with this. So the the Cybele drove Attis mad as revenge. Out of jealousy, he ran to the mountains where he stopped at the tree and Custer. What? Castrated himself? I guess he cut himself. He bled to death, but Jupiter took pity on him and turned him into the immortal pine. Saturn became his protector. Interesting. Who was Saturn? Right? We were talking about the Baphomet yesterday. Who was Saturn? And then you talk about Jupiter. Like Jupiter is who? Saturn's son, right? So he castrated himself. What the? He fucking gets. He's trying to. Okay, bro. Wow. All right. Culture, Norse mythology, right? Associated with the god Odin and the concept of the Yeg, Dressel, okay, Dressel. Native American, considered a sacred tree and used in spiritual rituals. Chinese represents longevity and good fortune. Celtics, associated with wisdom and protection. So, Japanese symbolize power, prosperity, and purification. So, this is all the meanings of what the pine tree with different cultures and different methodologies, what it all meant. So, yeah, this is the pine tree. Like you think about the pine trees, they're like the oldest spirits that are on this planet, right? They're connected to the ground. They're connected to the ethers, right? Out above, so below. They're rooted within the ground, right? So, uh, and they're also all trees are also the lungs of the planet. You know, uh, I'm gonna see if I should keep continuing to read this. Okay. Culture and the mythological references. Doctor Back. Why can it just be a cake? Make it simple. Doctor Back. Uses flowers for those who tend to self-destruct because of the guilt, who feel guilty of breaking a rule or revolting. The at this point can teach that repentance and forgiveness can be reborn as pure and fragrant as it is. Interesting. So at least the 70 species of pine sober long-lived plants are content with poor soils. From the needles and gems we get herbal teas and essential oils and balsamic antiseptic, um, expectorant, anti-inflammatory, and energizing qualities, which find applications in diseases of respiratory and art- articular apparatus. It was an element of Dionysus. I said I went right. Yeah, Dionysus. All right. That's sorry. I'm having fun, yeah. Hello, I just feel good. The symbolize the fruitfulness, resurrection, and mortality. Fuck, I got this. Mortality, yeah. What the fuck? It was used in the celebrations of the mysteries of Dionysus, uh, the Ilioses of the feast dedicated to Great Mother and Hermes. Who was Hermes again? Hermes, of course, you know, the god of message, Mercury, and it was also who? The hoodie. Who we're talking about? Great Mother, Sophia, Trinity, right? You follow me? You get me? Okay. And we're just talking about essential oil. I put some on me right now too. Well, not right now, but before I got started. Actually, smells really good. I really love the smell of this essential oil I have. It's in my oils. I still got a lot of my old oils from when I was doing my network marketing business of Young Living. I used to get a lot of oils and shit. That's one of the small I have. And I put one right on my pineal gland right here too, right on my mind's eye, to just enhance it a little bit more. And I'm drinking the tea, so I feel really good though. Like to be honest, it's like I feel great. You know, let's continue because it's still not every. In the east, the the Taoist immortals fed on risen and needles, and it is said that the risen penetrated into the subsoil after a dozen years produces the filling a mushroom that gives eternal life. In Japan, pine wood is used to build the Shinto temples and ritual tools. Interesting. In wedding ceremonies, it represents the consistency of the conjugal love during their new year. The Japanese place two trees of the same size of each side of their doors to honor the kami, the many Shinto deities that govern the visible spheres and traditional life inside the pines. In China, this tree is depicted the what? Yeah, depicted on the doors of immortality and composes the trade of longevity together with the mushroom and a crane or with bamboo and palm. In the first centuries, Christianity, it was considered a malice plant, a malefic plant because it was associated with pagan deities, Pan, Dionysus, and its first Christianity would consider everything to be pagan besides their own religion because their whole very foundation is pagan, fucking hypocrites, right? And we were talking about Pan yesterday too. Pan coming up again. Its ritual can be burned in all celebrations that involve awakening of light, the vegetation, and the spirit, right? The night of Migio, the first day of May, take a small bag of green cotton and place inside the sprigs of tea, a green agate, three laurel leaves, and three scotch of pine. Close with a ribbon of the same color and think about which projects you would like to realize. This omelet will help you make them. Keep it at home. We're going to witchcraft. What's that? Fun fact: pine nuts are used in enhancements, enchantments to attract economic prosperity. The Romans ate them to increase their strength and physical vigor. In the East, it is a tradition to consume them to protect bonds of love and friendship. Interesting. Very good. Just good to know, huh? How to attract prosperity. Not just any prosperity, but economic prosperity. Okay. That's what's up. Good to know is that we're going into that money year coming up in every season, baby. All right, the pine Christmas symbolizes, or the pine Christmas symbolism. The most popular and widespread spiritual symbol is of the Christmas tree. There are many legends about the pine origin of Christmas tree, but the tradition's true origin is unclear. According according to the Christian tradition, the Saint Boniface brought down a giant ash tree, the Yggdrasil, which held all levels of the world from heaven to hell. Okay? But instead, he planted it as a symbol of God's eternal love and fill them with candles, symbolizing the purification, the light of Christ. Again, more pagan stuff that they do, but then they want to demonize us true pagans, right? They're saying that's exactly what they do. You know what I'm saying? Everything they call witchcraft, they want to do. Okay? So, in fact, Christmas trees or Christmas is a very old ancient practice. It goes all the way back even to the Mayans and the Aztecs. That's how far back it goes. Celebrating the tree because remember they were very connected to nature. They were connected to mother. They were connected to all the spirits, and the trees are the oldest spirits, and they understood that they were also as the tree. They were very tapped into the mind's eye, right? To the pineal. They were, it goes back. That's how far back it goes. So yeah, right. So the light of Christ, the purification of light of Christ. You are the Christo. And we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. So this is the whole point of this too, right? There's no Christ outside of you; it's all inside you. And Christ is also Christo, means Christo. A Christo. No. Another legend says that Saint Boniface knocked down a huge oak tree that took with him all the trees that surrounded him, except a small tree, which is called Tree of the Child God, symbolizing the triangular shape of the Holy Trinity. The triangular shape, right, which is the fire, the element of fire, right? The triangle of fire. And then what is the Holy Trinity, right? It's we already know the real Holy Trinity is Mother, Father, and Child, but the Trinity is also who was Trinity and a Neo Matrix, right? So we're talking about that, and then what is also that goes into the three is the mind, body, and spirit, right? Mind, mind's eye, body, and everything of you that is spirit, your breath, spirit. Easy breakdown. The tree has also been linked to apple tree of Adam and Eve. Oh, Adam and Eve. Egging red apples and the Christmas tree symbolizing the exit of paradise of Adam and Eve and placing the star at the tip of the tree as a symbol of fate. Now, Adam is autumn, ATOM. Eve represents time. This is why tonight or at midnight, they're gonna drop the apple in New York and New Year's Eve, okay? At what time? Midnight, right? So we have to understand this shit that it's like the ball that drops, they drop a ball that goes that's symbology to the red apple that Eve bit into from the tree of life. How about that? In the garden, what? In the Garden of Eden. Okay. So we have to understand these things. So when you put a star at top of a tree, especially one that's a 5-pointed star. We went over that last night. What was the 5-point star, right? And sometimes they even put the Star of David on top of the tree, but that also symbolizes the elements of fire and water. You got the 6-point star, that's the triangle going up, that's the fire. And then you have the water, that's the water, right? That's the triangle upside down. And then you put them together, you get what? The 6-pointed star. It's not even the Star of David. I'm taking the shit back. How about that? Fuck that lame ass food called Beloved. David's called Beloved. Come on, imagine that shit. Get out of here. I like the shirt. Been having this one for a while. This is it says Aries is king, right? Yeah. Jesus ain't no king. He's talking about Aries is king, baby. What you talking about? Like that was very much like lit like that. What's up with that? Like. All right. So So the blue Christmas ornament symbolizes repentance. The silver ones represent gratitude. The golden ones praise, and the rare ones the request. The ornaments. So let's look at these colors. Color symbolism, especially because when I was talking about the blue and yellow earlier. Yeah, I can't wait to do my detox with everything. Right. Definitely need my. I say 101 spiritual color symbolizes their meaning. We're not gonna go over all the 101 colors, but this is a good to understand your colors because all colors have a meaning and have a vibration. So like me, that I'm a practitioner and like when I like to do my candle magic, I always you know I I like to use the colors for its purpose, especially on the day of. Like even the days mean they have a significance. Like I don't just pick any day for any ritual. I has to. I'm very to the T with it. Even when it's coming to like certain alignments for the planets and stuff like that. Like I had to be very key with what I'm doing. I like to tap into all the energy, right? So I'm very key with my shit. I just don't light a blue candle and I'm expecting money to the from the blue candle because that's not what the blue candle is. You know what I mean? Especially like when you're doing chakra work, you got your chakras have colors and some symbology. So so what were the colors we were looking at? It was like blue and what was it? Blue, silver, and gold and red. Blue, silver, gold, and red. Let's find these. Okay, here goes red. Red is often referred to as the color of passion, stands out as a powerful symbol across the it's frequently associated with intense emotions ranging from love, lust, and desire to anger and danger. Yeah, because remember, the red is also represented by your root chakra, and it's also represented by Mars. So Mars is the god of war. So war could be also used for the danger or for passion, right? I'm ruled by the planet Mars, so I know when I'm wearing red, I have to be very careful, especially around children, because children, babies, they pick up, they can see, they're very tapped into spirits. They can see colors, and sometimes those colors would get them very triggery or get them very angry because, or not angry, but very pride. They become like chiones or chionas because it's an emotional color. It's emotional for them because they can't handle that color too much for them. I did experience that with my granddaughter one day. She was over it, and I was trying to carry her, and we were good before at one time, but I was dressed different colors. That day, I was dressed all in red. It was a bad idea because she's very tapped in, that little one. So she stopped crying, like she would have stopped crying. Bro. I was like, yo, I told my daughter, take her behind. Take, I'm sorry. I know what it is already. It's like my colors is it's too much for her, you know, because it does. It goes in with her emotions. It's they're super, they're super sensitive colors, right? So for many red flags, courage, vitality, confidence, its bonus demands attention, making a popular choice, passion, advertising, and design. makes a lot of sense. Again, if it goes into passion, advertising, and design, because what is if it's ruled by Mars, what does Mars do? It's all about action. It's you know it goes into all. So let's look at blue. Okay, here we are. Yeah, it's working for me really good. So blue symbolism and meaning. Blue is embodiment of calmness and tranquility. It's big words again. The reminiscence of the vast sky and deep ocean. Makes a lot of sense, right? Deep, right? Oceans. Evoking feelings of stability, trust, and fact. Spirituality blue is often linked to introspection and intuition. It's also symbolic of wisdom, loyalty, and truth. Yeah. So I know, like for me, that's what I use it for. Like when I want to tap into my throat chakra as well. It goes into Mercury. It also goes into be able to communicate with the spirits. So I use blue for that. It's into communication. And then like it just said wisdom. So you go ahead and you want to tap into a lot of the goddesses of wisdom, right? So yeah. In many cultures, blue has protective qualities, warding off evil and bringing peace. Yeah, it really does bring peace within your home when you're lighting up blue candles. You want to ward off burn energies or whatever. Just bring peace within your home. So the last one was gold, I believe, right? Phrases. And then we got gold and silver. So again, like what green symbolizes, I use a lot of my green candles for money, harmony, utility, you know, renewal, right? Excuse me. Green is the color of life, renewal, and nature. It represents growth, harmony, and fertility in many cultures. Green symbolizes hope and prosperity. Its association with nature makes it symbol of environmental causes and sustainability on the emotion spectrum. Green often brings up about feelings of calm. Let's press this. Let's get to the ones I need to get to. Like gold and green. I really continue this because I really want to go over all this stuff. Um, the link is up here. So when you do check out the presentation, there's a link right here. You copy that link and then you go to or just easy, just type in colors and the symbolism and the colors and the symbolism and the spiritual meaning of the colors. So gold symbolizes the meaning. Gold is the color of success, wealth, and prestige. It represents luxury, quality, and achievement. Yes. So when I want like to tap in more to my wealth and for my business to be more successful, I like to use a lot of gold colors because it's just it's like gold even to the Mayans and the Aztecs was very it meant a lot to us too, right? So it was like this is the old, gold is a very. I mean, look at Mexico; it has a lot of gold. You know what I'm saying? It's rich in gold and silver. So covers luxury, quality, and achievements. Spiritually, gold is linked to divinity, alignment, and wisdom. It's a symbol of grandeur and prosperity. Absolutely. Because what did it say here about the whole gold, right? One praises the silver ones represent gratitude, the golden ones praise, the golden ones represents praise, right? So that's why. Let's go into spiritually. Okay. And there we got silver. Silver symbolism and meaning. Silver is slick and modern, often associated with clarity, reflection, and sensitivity. It's symbolic of purity, femininity, and intuition. In many cultures, silver represents lunar energies, unlike gold's solar associations, right? It's funny because I have more silver than I have gold. I don't really have anything that's gold. I don't think I have had a gold chain in a long time, to be honest. I'm always buying silver chains, like that's what I buy, silver. But you figure I would buy more gold because it's linked to the solar, which is the solar plexus. It's also linked to the soul, which is the sun, right? So yeah, I'm gonna have to give me some gold. I'm gonna have to give it because yeah, like silver represents lunar, which is the moon energies. So yeah, I would have to go ahead and give it. I need some gold, which also makes sense. Like when we get like I haven't bought it in a while, and I was just thinking about this morning because I got my herbs coming in to do my detox and do the parasite cleans and shit. I was like, man, I haven't bought me some melatonin gold in a long time. I haven't bought me my melatonin gold, which is the gold. It helps to declassify your pineal gland, right? And then I used to like buy like the clonal silver. The clonal silver helps to pretty much boost up the immune system. And then I used to get the chlorophyll. The chlorophyll helps to uh, clean out heavy metals out your blood. It's yeah, the chlorophyll does a lot for your body as well. So I got to get back to buying my electric. I haven't bought any of that. Wow. So here, yeah, we're done with this. So, so let's go ahead and go back to where we were at with the pine tree. Okay. All right. So Christmas tree began to use in Europe in the 16th century, specifically in Germany. But it just, the Christmas tree goes more. It predates, you know, the uses in the 16th century, right? It's older. It's a lot more older than this right here. The uses of the tree. So the pine symbolism in the world of magic. I could do magic. I could do magic. Shout out to Black Magic with that song. That shit was fire. I haven't heard it the whole thing yet. He already had put it out there not too long ago. I haven't checked it out, but I like listening to come out. Shit dope. That music. Because I definitely can do magic. I can do magic. Like, yo, like, I don't be playing around. What you talking about? What you mean? So, behind symbolism, the world of magic and magic, poems are associated. I mean, are used to promote fertility, while needles mixed with resin are used to ward off evil and spirits. Nice. Good things to know, right? They also revoke invoices and curses to a client. Unfortunately, it is often used in black magic rituals to infuse pain and injury. There's a duality of everything. Okay, the polarized and burnt bark mixed with frankincense was used to purify the rooms of the sick or after disputes. Because it is evergreen tree, it also symbolizes the soul's eternal life. Right. Because there's the soul sits in your solar plexus, so that's you know where it sits until it goes ahead and actually rises the soul, and your pineal gland becomes the seat of the soul. Right. In natural magic, it is used to evoke the spirits of woods, nature. All right, the resin that can be mixed with sage, mint, or lemon to purify ourselves before or after a ritual, and also to purify places. It was a symbol of protection and immortality for the Celtic people. I love when I tap into my Celtic and right back to the bloodlines of the Celtic. It was like this. Look, check it out. This is my grand, but look how this dark. This is what do you call Norse mythology. You got the ruins, right? This goes into the Celtics, the Vikings, my ram. You get what I'm saying? So we talking about. So the Celtic people is revered as a tree of life, right? It's purified places. It's symbol of protection and immortality for the Celtic people. It was reversed as a tree of life. What came from the tree of life again? The red apple that was given to Eve. Okay. The tree of life and the mother. Therefore, it symbolizes the woman, and her fruitful phase. So the tree of life represents wisdom. It represents the feminine energy. That's the that wisdom is feminine, and it's on and its true nature. Wisdom is feminine. Wise woman, witches, right? So the tree of knowledge is masculine, right? Tree of knowledge. It's not enough to have knowledge. You have to have wisdom too with your knowledge, right? So, you know, so when Eve bit into the apple, she was supposed to wise up and be like, yo, I didn't want you with, what you talking about? I came out your red food. You came out of me. What you mean? You get what I'm saying? Like, people that really believe that dumb shit, oh, Eve was born out of Adam's rib. Okay. If everything is burnt off the womb, right? Like, I helped create 7 children. None of them came out my rib, yo. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I got all my ribs still intact. You get what I'm saying? Like, what you mean? You know, symbolic meaning, Christmas represents the holiday season and spirit of giving. Giving into the spirit of giving. And black. But we're gonna break down what Christmas is too. Like the whole, you know, we're gonna get into it. The spirit of giving. It's like you're giving away your spirit for that season because you're not tapping into the true nature of Christmas or what it really means. So woodworking symbolizes craftsmanship, durability, and natural beauty. The aromatherapy, pine essential oil associated with the purification and purity. I gotta buy me some pine oil. Excuse me. Decorations, pine tree. Decoration used to bring in positive energy and joy. Landscaping, pine trees are planted for their beauty and environmental benefits. Absolutely. Table 3, practical uses and symbolism. The pine cone in magic symbolizes regeneration and life, as well as physical and psychological wounds. For the Masons, right? And remember what I showed you how the Aztec's eye, how it was shaped like Mason symbol, right? So for the Masons, see how and it say Freemasons, it said Masons. What I said yesterday, right? And when I broke down the word Masons, it means my son, SUNS. Oh, it's in my blood, damn it too. What are you talking about? You know. Uh, so it was a symbol of enlightenment, resurrection, eternal life, and regeneration. Right. Pine code. Because why? Because the pine cone is connected to your pineal gland. That's also called pine cone or the pineapple. So Celtic people used to form magic protection circles, which cones and open air rituals. And I also burn. I burn. Those are what I burn too. They look like pine cones, but one was sage, white sage, and the other one is what these are the cones. I think cones and dragon's blood, right? So I burned a little while ago. I'll probably burn some more. Can I bring my matches over here too? Yeah, they're right there. All right. So where am I? Oh, okay, the Celtic people used to form magic protection circles with cones and open air rituals. It was also often used in magic of love and rites that favorite conception. In most important traditions, coat and sacred figures held a stick with a pine cone on its top to symbolize the high and macrocosm union with the microcosm and the feminine with masculine. Yeah. The merge of the tree of life, the merge of the tree of knowledge. Exactly. That's what that means. It signifies the pineal gland, also uh, esoterically called the a dube of the spirit, whereby the third eye, or like to say, mind's eye, the awakening and opening of this chakra elevates us to one of the highest levels. Absolutely, it does. All right, so that's it for that. That was a very good. That was a very good read. I'm very pleased with that, and I didn't chop up a lot of words. I gotta give me a thumbs up for now. I not really chop up a lot of words. I'm trying not to. I really am trying not to. Like, it's just yeah. I'm sorry. It's just I'm not trying not. I'm trying not to do that. But let's go. So we went into the pine tree. All right. Now, Christmas trees and lights. So we kind of already got a sense of what Christmas tree is, the symbology of a Christmas tree, even the or the ornaments that they put on there. But now we're covering the lights. The lights, any tree symbolizes lights on the body. What are the lights? The lights on your body are your seven chakras. Of course, there's more than seven, but just to keep this basic, right? You have the seven, right? So you have lights and candles, right? And we were talking about the whole thing with the pine tree. And it's funny because I haven't, this is the first time me reading that whole thing with the pine tree. I just seen the article, I pasted it up and under. My Twitch told me this was going to be a good read. So let's use this, whatever. But we were talking about candles too, right? So this goes into this. So the Christmas lights represent Christ as the light of the world. Christmas lights represent Christ as the light of the world. They symbolize the triumph of light over dark. This tradition is associated. I'm sorry, looking up my words. This tradition is associated with lighting candles and bonfires during the Yoli that symbolizes the return light. So when I look at the Yoli, I think about the uni. I swear, like that's what I'm seeing. The returning of light, right? So let's check this link out. If I could just because I don't really remember what this link about. No, too many windows open because it shows on the computer. So let's do a new share. Have to share for that one. Yeah, I like the lightning. It looks a lot more better. I look more alive, lively. Like compared to yesterday, I look really dark yesterday. Like yo, like jump into that dark energy. I was like, yo, like you know, so much. And where we at? The slides. We're already on an eight, a nine. We're already on nine, y'all. Like, like yo, I got a few of these. There's a few more stills to go. Okay, so let's close this ad. I hate these ads. Like, why you gotta do hire people? Okay, what is the spiritual meaning of Christmas? Christmas is a millennium tradition widely celebrated around the world. Although it was mainly associated with Christianity, it actually goes even deeper and far back than Christianity. It's how they always use Christianity as like starting point to all culture. And no, you guys just hijacked our fucking traditions, our rituals, which were all pagan, and use them against us, and now it's like colonized holiday. They're colonized holidays, right? It's just a bunch of BS. Although it's mainly associated with Christianity, its roots date back to traditions earlier than Christians believed. Absolutely. It goes all the way back to the Mayans, the Aztecs, you know, the Celtics, all the pagans, basically. So what's up with that, right? So back to the way it smells. Hmm, okay. Okay, just in culture and religious association, Christmas itself is a time full of spiritual and mystical meaning. Not really. A lot of these people that celebrate these holidays, they're so untapped to spirit. They have no idea of the origin of what their system is based off on. Um, they believe in the story of Jesus that really was born on this day of which, in fact, you know, he will be a goat, which should be a Capricorn, which also be Satan or the devil. Which is why he was born on 25th to 25 goes to the seventh. That means there's seven crowns. This is why I said that Jesus is not king. Aries is king. What's up with that? Like you talking about, you know, yo soy el rey. No, I'm an emperor. Let's get it right. All right. So transcending culture and religious association. Christmas itself is a time for spiritual, mystical meaning. We will explore the multiple symbols associated with this holiday and unveil the meaning, different traditions, and glimpses and its connection with spiritual beliefs. The origins of Christmas, the winter solstice, and Christ as the sun god. It all goes back to the sun, of course. He's all allegory to the sun. But there seems to be nowhere in the Bible that indicates that Jesus was born on December 25th. Jesus was not an actual entity. He's an egregor that doesn't exist. It is all allegory to the sun. So although there appears to be no reason why people celebrate Christmas on this day, the theory posed by Sir James George Fraser connects the date to pagan rituals celebrating the winter solstice. Absolutely, that's really what it is. It all goes back to pagan rituals and traditions, which celebrate the changes of different solstices. We have spring, summer, or spring, summer. Then you got winter. You know, the different times of the sun, where how the sun moves. You know, nothing under the sun, baby. So the multiple eight multiply yeah multiply. Why would I use that word? Multiply ancient cultures have or multiple some shit whatever. Ancient cultures have celebrated this event for millennium. From the Germanic winter festival called Yoli to the Roman Saturnalian to even reaching the Incas with their Inti Rami. Right, it goes even more deeper than the Incas and the Yoli festivals. It goes all the way to the Aztecs and the Mayans. Even the Egyptians celebrated Ra during the solstice by filling their homes with evergreen trees. Yeah. Well, Ra is not even in the original sun god either. There's other sun gods. He's one of those sun gods, original, right? Okay. So we already went over the evergreen trees, right? So we get the significance of the evergreen trees. So the purpose of all these festivals was to honor the birth of the sun god and its new period of light. But after Christianity became the official religion to the Roman Empire, the celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ replaced that of the solar deity. Can never replace me, bro. The connection between Christ and the sun appeared repeatedly in ancient Christians writings such as I'm gonna chop this word up. Probably not. Just give it a try. The Ephesus. Think I got it right. If I did, I wish it was kind of live. Like, give me a heads up. Give me a clap and a chat or some shit. Awake, O sleeper, and arise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you. Yeah, the sun. Who? What you talking about? Okay, here are some other examples. But for you who fear my name, the Son of Righteousness shall rise with healing in its wings. In its wings. That's Buffy, baby. You talking about? That's fucking Buffy, baby. In its wings. You should go out leaping like claws from the star. For the Lord God is a sun and shield. The Lord bestows favor and honor. No good things does he withhold from those who walk uprightly. For, yeah, 84:11. Again, Jesus spoke to them, saying, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. Of course, there's the sun. He is the light of the world. And whoever follows the light, the sun, will not walk in darkness. But people literally don't understand that when they read this, they don't know how to use common sense. They believe in fairy tales and they don't know how to connect things. That everything's based is allegory to the sun and to you, basically. It's all inward. You know. So in his right hand, he held seven stars. From his mouth came a sharp two-edged sword, and his face was like the sun shining in full strength. Seven stars in his right hand, right? The seven stars are your seven chakras, and when you're when you're under the sun, right? The sun is shining with full strength, activating you, to activating your seven chakras, right? Because you also have it in your sun, your solar plexus. So, although this parallelism between Christ and the sun god is not a mainstream interpretation with traditional Christian theology, some scholars, comparative religion experts, and esoteric traditions have explored the connection between the Christ and the solar imagery. Absolutely, those that don't know. And of course, these Christian fools are these Christian so-called scholars. They don't want the real truth to be out there. All this shit about Jesus, he's just a fucking egregor, or he's the son. And even like when they say the almost high is the sun. It's the same thing. People really buy oh the almost high. Get out of here with that shit. You know. In sense, Christians would be another festival to celebrate the solar deity and his journey, and losing strength during the winter solstice, being born again, and achieving its highest point during the summer solstice. Yeah. You'll be reborn again within the spring time, right? Which will be officially the new year. Aries season, baby. Like again, Aries is keen. You know, you'll be at your highest point during summer, of course. And this is like right now, like it's important to like. This is why too, like I wanted to, really get serious with my detoxing and get rid of like whatever parasites I might have, right? Sure, we all do at some point. And to also, like for me, like winter is a time of hibernation, right? Just like bears, hibernate. We hibernate as well. But for me, hibernation is more like going into hermit mode, become more hermit, become more still, um, go more into certain rituals, get more into your practices, meditate more, practice, the ritual, sitting with self, be still, be as water, right? Like Bruce Lee said, be as water. So, yeah, definitely. That's you know, those are keys. That's because especially like if you're in areas like here I'm in Chicago, so we don't get that much sun during the season. So what can we do to make sure that we get some sun energy? We got to eat certain foods, right? We got to eat certain vegetables. We got to get eat certain fruits because literally there's like if you look at like foods that do with the solar plexus, you gotta look at like vegetables that are yellow. You gotta look at fruits that can be yellow, right? That can help that solar plexus because that's the sun energy, right? So we eat stuff like that because we have to do our best to try to still get that sun energy, right? You know. So whenever there is sun, yeah, of course you want to go out and sun whatever to get that vitamin D because if we're not getting enough sunlight, we become vitamin D is uh insufficient. So we have to make sure that we still get that vitamin D. So yeah, we eat certain fruits and vegetables to get that right, get that energy. I don't know, I feel a little stuff. I don't know why. So where am I at? So in any case, Christmas is a holiday full of spiritual meaning. Even classic Christmas decoration is filled with traditions, symbolism, and beliefs. Here's a list of common concepts and symbolism associated with Christmas and the solar festivals that gave origin to it. Yeah, I don't want to be the Christian shit. Okay, you know what? Yeah, let's just read it. Let's read this nonsense. Um, the symbolism comes from the belief of Christian tradition that Christmas marks the beginning of this redemptive story with the birth of a savior. You already know there's no such thing as that birth of a savior that was born on December 25th, right? Like where you get Santa Claus from. And that's a whole other thing too. The Santa Claus is really Satan, the red, color of the root chakra. That's what that is, right? So you know, people celebrate wrong things, right? So the concept is central part of Christian theology, and it's evident in many passages of the Bible that emphasizes this aspect of Jesus Christ. She'll give birth to a son, which is the S-U-N, and you are to give him the name Jesus because he will save his people from their sins. It's funny because every time I see something that had to do with sins, I go back to that jealous guy when he said, "I, your Lord, I'm a jealous God." Da, 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 right? If jealousy is envy, isn't envy a sin? I'm saying the hypocrisy of this shit. Like, like, I don't know, like, what are we doing? What? Talking about envy is a sin. Jealousy is envy. So if I a jealous God and I'm committing a sin, so what's the point of Jesus dying for a sin for the sins if the jealous God himself is committing the biggest sin of all? Jealous. Being jealous. I'm just saying, like, let's get real. Let's get for real. You know what I mean? But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid. I bring you good news that will cause great joy for all people. Today in the town of David, a Savior has been born." Again, David, the beloved, weak as David. Come on, who's David? Like, really? Like, he's too soft, bro. Beloved, a Savior has been born to you, and he is the Messiah. The Lord. I feel so scared. Here is a trustworthy saying that deserves full acceptance. Christ Jesus came into the world to save sinners, of who I am the worst. He's the worst sinner. Your God is the worst sinner, of course, right? He's jealous. He's a jealous God, so I am the worst. For the God so loved the world that gave his son, his only son, the S-U-N, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. God did not send his son into the world to condemn the world, but to save the world through him. So we see the star, right? This pagan as hell, that star, giving your gifts under a tree. You get what I'm saying? That's very sinister right there. Giving out your gifts them under a tree. For Christians, the gift giving tradition started with the Maggie bringing gifts to the baby Jesus. People exchange gifts as the way to demonstrate love and goodwill. No, it's just another. Uh, it's uh, it's another way of what do they call that? To take your money, right? Basically, uh, what's that word? I can't think of it right now. It's in my head somewhere. It's on my head somewhere. So capital capitalism, you know, it's capitalize on your money and your feelings. You, you know, you spend all your money for these gifts, and then you broke. You know, it's like, oh, like where'd all my money go? So anyway, the Regal game with Saturnalia, which is Saturn, Satan, blah blah blah. The gods of generosity wisely associate Christmas tree. This is getting boring. The birth of the sun god. Okay, yeah, this is interesting. Ancient cultures celebrated the winter solstice when the sun started to gain power again. Some esoteric geno- gnostic and theosophic authors pose that this is symbolic, of course. Sun god will represent the higher self, absolutely, or spiritual self. Yes. Why spiritual self? Because remember, you have an inner sun within you, sun of plexus, right? Of any person coming into material existence as they attain higher states of consciousness. So, if this is the sun god represents the higher self or spiritual self at any person, so why are you spending money on material things and putting them under a tree? Make it make sense. If you're supposed to tap into your higher consciousness to connecting to your higher self and going inner to your spiritual self to tap into the energy, right? To tap into what? States of a higher. We'll get more tea. Blow my nose. That. All right. Let's get into this. So it also goes into hope and renewal. That's a little bit better for my nose now. You know, in many cultures, this time of the year is one of the hope for hope and renewal. you know. Now, we already know the connection of Christ or Jesus that doesn't exist. That is an egregore. What is the Christ? So, um, so this symbolizes the triumph over light over darkness. So we already know that, like when we were covering last night's um Baphomet, right? And we're not trying to do triumph over light over darkness. In fact, we have to become balance. We have to merge. And like what I was saying about my experience when I woke up and I was hearing the two orbs that were just flying around. Like it sounded like UFOs to me, like they go, "Roo, roo, roo," right? Like I got up and put them into me, right? I merged the two, darkness and light. No longer no separation, you know. And embracing more my dark side, right? And you can tell just in my demeanor, the way I'm carrying myself now, like I'm more like give a fuck attitude. You know what I mean? Um, ever since I started tapping more into that darkness and just merging the two, it's about balance for me, like duality. And one thing I like I said yesterday too, tapping into math taught me to be more, even tapping into me, my flaquita, right? She's about the balances and justice, right? So her symbology is just about the same thing like Baphomet, almost, right? Because they represent almost the same thing, right? So yeah, I just tapped into these energies and taught me to be able to be and merge the two, not triumph over one over another. If they both are needed, they're necessary, right? So yeah. But I don't want to continue reading all this Christian shit because you already basically get the idea of Christian shit. And these people just got it all backwards. They like to demonize what is pagan and everything else, but they don't realize their whole traditions is pagan, and they're really worshiping a pagan entity, which is the sun. Nothing new in the sun, baby. Christ is not the light of the world. The sun is. You know what I mean? So it's like, yo, like, yeah, you know, yeah. For me, I don't like to like. It's been a while already since I celebrated Christmas. I think the last time I did was probably like I think it was in 2021, maybe. You know, I barely even do this whole New Year crap. I just lately I just be at home. I'll check out the countdown, and whatever, but that's it. Now let's close this out. Not my share. Let's go back into the the presentation itself. So go back over there. Share that. So we went over the lights and candles. Let's move my screen up this way. All right. So we are at 10. Seven chakras and the lights of the tree. Right. So the seven chakras are subtle energy centers that are believed to exist within the body. Not believed, really. They really do exist within the body. Forming an intricate network of energy pathways delivered from ancient Indian traditions. Of course, this goes a lot more before ancient Indian traditions. Chakras are associated with different aspects of our physical, emotional, and spiritual well being. Each chakra is believed to have its own unique qualities and influence specific areas of our lives. So this is connected to the tree of life as well. Now let's see what this is about. I'm trying to just that's what that's possible with it. But this is connected. I don't gotta think nowhere to do nothing to do, but I don't know where to go, nothing to do. Here, let me share. All right. The seven chakra tree of life, understanding the energetic centers. Introduction. The seven chakra tree of life is powerful. Some of them merges the concept of chakras in the tree of life, creating a visual representation of energetic centers within the human body. This article delves into the fascinating world of chakras and explores the significance and symbolism of the seven chakras tree of life. Concept of chakras. The chakras are subtle energy centers that are believed to exist within the body. Oh, yeah, we already read this. Okay. Tree of life symbolism. The tree of life is a powerful symbol that appears in various cultures and spiritual traditions throughout history. It represents the interconnectedness of all life forms and acts as a bridge between the physical and the spiritual realms, right? So again, if this the tree of life symbolizes growth, renewal, and the internal circle of life. So what is the body? The body is like tree of life because the body is basically earthbound, right? So if your body is earthbound, like the tree of life, that means you have lights within that body, which is connected to the tree of life, that which symbolizes the physical and spiritual realms. So those same embodiments of what a tree, Christmas tree will have, the lights is really your you having the chakras lit up, the lights to be shown, right? Like we're you going over the sun thing, right? What the sun does, right, to the body. So we're just gonna go. This is just self-explanatory stuff, but people should already know this. So this just goes into the chakras and what they are. And you know what? Let's just read it. Read this down real quick. There's not too much to read. So the tree of life symbolism. The tree of life is a powerful symbol that appears in various cultures and spiritual traditions throughout history. It represents the interconnections of all life forms and acts a bridge between the physical life and spiritual realms. We already have it. Okay. Seven chakras explain root chakra. The root chakra, also known as the Maladara, is located. I must have put it in the wrong hole. But oh wow, the way I said it just remind me of something like. All right. It's located at the base of the spine and represents our foundation and connection to the earth. Right. So that's yeah, base and the foundation connected to the earth. Again, what did I say about the root chakra? What does this? What does it symbolize? Root chakra symbolizes the foundation of your body, which is your base, the earth. It connects to the earth as the buffaloes were thrown out. Also, the root chakra is the color red. What was red? Santa Claus, Satan, fucking Mars. You get me? So, or Saturn. Because you get Saturn every, you know, Saturn, baby. So here we go with the sacral. The sacral chakra, known as the Savadhisthana, is located in the lower abdomen and relates to our emotions, creativity, and sexuality. Balance sacral chakra enhances our ability to experience pleasure and form healthy relationships. definitely. I like when I tap into my sacral a lot, especially when it's coming from my creativity and my emotions, right? Because the root, excuse me, the root chakra is the element of earth, the sacral is the element of water. It's like water and it has emotion. Water is emotion, you know. Your sacral is full of emotion. You have to let out those emotions. And many times we do it by pleasure and by it represents our sexuality as well, right? How we pleasure ourselves with that sexual energy. So yeah, let's go on to oh yeah, when I was talking about the foods, like certain foods that will go with each chakra. Yeah. When you study your chakras, look at what foods go with those chakras because you can start eating to that chakra to be able to have the chakra be opened up more. And then this and solar disc, each chakra has a solar disc, and the solar disc needs to spin. It needs to spin motion like a spiral. So the solar chakra is situated in the upper abdomen. I mean the upper abdomen. It is associated with the personal power and self confidence and elevation. The balance solar plexus chakra empowers us to control our lives, purpose, our goals. Yes, the solar plexus is also the element of fire. So the fire that burns, right? So it's like that's the soul, that's the sun. You know, you're putting from the soul and the sun in it, right? So that's what that is too. And the Leo, the Aries, and I would say the Sagittarius too, but I don't really hear too much about the Sagittarius. They rule that they've been governed the solar plexus. You know, the heart chakra is located in the center of the chest. It governs our capacity for love, compassion, and forgiveness. When the heart chakra is balanced, we experience harmonious relationships and a deep sense of empathy. Yeah, definitely. Within my heart space, I found more compassion. Within compassion, you see compass, and compass is also direction. Right? I have a better direction in the path I decide to go. Where where do I want to be at in my state of my relationships with myself or relationship with others? Be harmonious, right? Be in unity with self. So when we talk about like what we talked about earlier about the merge of certain things, being merged with yourself in my phone. Okay. So the heart chakra is also the element of earth and it's also the element of air, right? Because as you're connecting to mama through the heart space. So the throat chakra is located in the throat region. It influences our communication, which is also ruled by Mercury, right? And Gemini. The heart chakra is governed by Aquarius and Libra. All right. So communication, self-expression, and ability to speak our truth, right? A balanced throat chakra allows us to express ourselves um authentically and effectively communicating our needs and desires. I had to think about that word. I mean, my throat chakra is up, so I should have a hard time trying to get these words out, like All right, the third eye chakra with that. The third eye, the mind's eye chakra, is situated between the eyebrows, right? Right here, the eyebrow. It's situated with intuition, perception, and spiritual awareness. When the third eye chakra is in balance, we develop clarity, thought, and heightened intuition. So the mind's eye is basically also the element of spirit, spirit and insight. So the sub chakra is looking at the top of the head. They represent our connection to the divine and the higher realms of consciousness. The balance construct leads to spiritual awakening, transcendence, and a deep sense of inner peace. Let's connect it to your higher self. Again, how we were talking about the higher self and the spirit itself. So the the crown chakra is the element of ether, right? Um, it's also governed by yours truly, the ram. The ram rules the head. So the ram rules the head, he rules the crown. So I bow down to the heart. I'm always gonna bow down to the heart, right? When I want to tap into my mama, bow down to the heart. I'll be the head of the household, but I still have to bow down to the heart, you know? So yeah, we're done with that. Let's just go ahead and close this out. All right. Okay. So the tree of life. Am I sharing this? Yeah. Tree of life has countless ancient roots similar to the physical roots of the tree itself. Archaeologists have located the symbol in Turkey and dated back to the 7,000 BC, BC before the confusion era. BCE, baby, before the confusion era, right? Its similarity appears in the Akkadian culture around 3000 BC, before the confusion era. So again, we're going back all the way to the Celtics, right? Like they're the ones that they were also being attacked by during the Crusades, right? With by the Templars and shit. We went over that yesterday. This symbol also shows the ancient Celtic culture. They call tree cran thither or some shit in language. They Celts highly revered trees upon clearing a field. For example, they ritualistically left a single tree standing in the middle. Generations of people would then use tree shelter to conduct meetings, and ceremonies. Indeed, the Celtic people believed that trees were wise, mystical living beings, and their high regard for nature led them to use trees as symbols in their culture. So we already know that, according to the Bible, the tree of life was in the Garden of Eden. Who bit the apple from the tree? Eve. Eve, the time machine, bit the apple of what? Wisdom. Make her wise. And going back to the actual snake in the Garden of Eden, it wasn't a masculine entity. It was Lilith, baby. Lilith. Because snakes represent wisdom. Snakes represent the serpentine energy as well, right? Feminine energy. So yeah, I don't go into the whole article too. Okay, and this is interesting. It's Isaiah 4:16 or 1 say whatever. And so a woman should take hold of one man that day, saying, "We will eat our own bread and wear our own clothes. Only let us be called by your name. Take away our reproach, and that the day the branch of the Lord shall be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the land And the fruit of the land shall be the pride and honor of the survivors of Israel. And he who is left is the Zion and remains in Jerusalem and will be called holy, everyone who has recorded life in Jerusalem. The Lord shall have washed the filth of the daughters of Zion and cleansed the bloodstains of Jerusalem from its midst by a spirit of judgment and by a spirit of burning. Then the Lord will create over the whole site of Mount Zion and over her assemblies a cloud by day and smoke and shining flaming fire by night. So all glory thee by what? By canopy. The seven women are the seven chakras, basically. When I think about the Zion, wasn't the Matrix too? They had a place called Zion, right? Um, and it's funny how they mention the daughters, not the sons, but the daughters, right? Cleans the blood stains. Wow, it's like, hey, this is wild. So yeah, the seven women are your seven chakras, basically, as well. You know, right? Genesis 3:22-24. Then the Lord God said, "Behold, a man has become like one of us, knowing good and evil." How was that? When they bit into the apple, baby, behold, a man that become like one of us, knowing good and evil. And now he must stretch out his hand and take also from the tree of life, and eat and live forever. Therefore, the Lord God sent him out from the Garden of Eden to cultivate the ground from which he was taken. So he drove the man out, and at the east of the Garden of Eden, he sustained the carrier of a flame sword, which turned every direction to the guard way to the tree of life. We're talking about the flame sword earlier when we reference to the sun, right? So Genesis 3:22, right? 2 and 4 is 6, right? 3:22, the skull and bones, right? So pay attention to this because this is important, right? Genesis 3:22, skull and bones, right? Skull and bones, 3:22. The emblem of the society is the skull and crossbones with number 32 banded. The number is here taken to the year 32 BCE, which is before the confusion era of the death of the Greek orator Demosthenes, um, Demosthenes, a turning point of the transformation of ancient Athens from democracy to plutocracy. The society's clubhouse is a Millennium brownstone building in a new haven called Tomb, originally built in 1856. The tomb was doubled in size in 1903 and was since been further enlarged. So it's a tomb. So the 3D2, man, goes all the way back to before the confusion era. A memento brownstone. The tomb would be the crypt, right? What represents crypt, death. What else? When you get death, you get what? Transformation, right? Um, it goes all the way back to the Aztecs and Mayas as well too, because they also believed in a lot of transformation. That's how they gave up their lives, even gods, they would give their lives for us, be part of the sun, or be as the sun. So the way they be always constantly the light of the world, right? So transformation is death. Death is rebirth. What we're talking about. We were talking about the whole Christmas thing earlier too, right? The death and rebirth, or renew, rebirth. So yeah, this is why I did that. Now, skull and bones goes into 12-12, right? Now, this is gematria. So 12-12 goes into what? 33. The number where Jesus supposedly died 33, right? So we also know 33 is what? 33 vertebrae, right? The vertebra the vertebral column is a series of scrangly 33 bones called the vertebrae, which are separated by vertebral disc. The column can be divided into five different regions, with each region characterized by a different verbal structure. In this article, we shall look at the anatomy of the verbal column, its function structure, and clinical settings. Let's do it. Mhm. Okay. So the vertebral column is a series of three bones of the vertebrae which are separated by a vertebral disc. Any vertebral disc. What is that? Also so your solar disc that you have in your body. So now the column can be divided into five different regions, which regions are characterized by. Okay, we already read that in the beginning. So the functions, the vertebral column has four main functions: section, encloses and protects the spinal cord with a spinal canal, support carries the weights to the body of the pelvis. The axis forms the central axis of the body, and the movement has roles in both posture and movement. The movement of what? The energy of the Kundalini energy that needs to rise to hit to here. Angle, right? So the structure of the vertebrae, all vertebrae shares a basic common structure and each consists of an anterior vertical body and a posterior vertical arch. The vertical body. The vertical body forms the interior part of each vertebrae and is weight bearing component and vertebrae in the lower portion of the column and have large bodies and those of the upper portion to be support increase weight. The superior and inferior aspects of vertebral body are aligned with the hindline cartilago, and ejection vertebral bodies are separated by fibro cartilaginous and upper vertebral disc. Vertebral arch forms the little posterior aspect of each vertebrae. In combination with the vertebral body, the vertebral arch forms a closed hole. Wait, get off my shit. Oh, no. There you go. Damn, I was into something. Hey, motherfuckers, bro. I actually have a free subscription card through my AT&T. Okay, it just took me out. Mm, Okay, here we are. The vertebral arch forms the lateral and posterior aspects of each vertebrae. In combination with the vertebral body, the vertebral arch forms an enclosed hole that vertebral foramen, the foramina of all vertebrae line up the vertebral canal, which includes the spinal cord. The vertebral arches have several bony prominent discs, which act as attachment sites for muscles and ligaments. The spinous processes each vertebrae as a single spinous process centered posteriorly at the point of arch. So traverse processes each vertebrae has two processes which extend literally and posteriorly from the vertical body in the aortic vertebrae. The transverse process articulate with the ribs. The pedicles connect the vertical body to the transverse processes. The lamina connect the transverse and the spinaceous process. The articular process from joints between one vertebrae into the superior and inferior counterparts. The articular processes are located at the intersection of the lamina and pedicles. You know, continue reading all this. There's still a lot more to do. So yeah, stop this. Uh, Let's go back into the here. So as you see as the article, right? This is 30 by the brain, right? And we get that Jesus dies at 33, which is what is the case of Jesus dying at the young age. And because of Jesus dying at young age lies in the fact that it demonstrates his perfect love for us after his age. And then going crucifixion, death, and resurrection at age 33, Jesus proved of sacrificial love, humanity, his willingness to give up his life at the prime of his earthly existence. Ah, but anyways, that goes in 33, the 33 beta brain, right? The rise of the Christ oil within the 33 beta brain. Okay. So now I have found this very interesting with Jesus Christ, gematria. His number goes into 151. Which is interesting that I got shot on 423, which is the two is 23 in reverse. In 95, 9 is 95, 1995. When I seen that, I was like, wow. Excuse me. So 151, right? What is 151? The Europonium. What's a chemical element? Has symbol EU, the atomic number 63. The emblem is a slippery white metal of the series that reacts readily with the air from a dark oxide coating. A dark oxide coating. Readily with air, the corazon, your heart, right? And look at 63, 63, 789, 789, right? What did this 9 represent to? Buddha. So it's the most chemical reactive last dance in the surface of the laminal elements. It's often known to be cut with a knife. So we're dealing with an element here. And when I seen 151, I was like, yo, this is those into elements, atomic numbers. Right? 151, 96, 69, which is balance, the number of balance. So balance of what? So darkness, the light, right? Being connected with the element of air. Air is also goes gives breath, gives more breath to fire, so the fire can spread within your body, burns your carbon, which is charcoal as well, to be able to wake up your your fluid from your 33 beta brain, right? To be to rise as a Christ. So yeah, interesting that way. I see here the heavy metals, and I was just talking about the heavy metals too, right? Like when I want to go ahead and remove heavy metals on my body, I use blood chlorophyll. And here we see the word phosphorus, phosphorus, risen, or yeah, risen. If you look at just the word phosphorus, phosphorus also goes into the word Lucifer, which is also light, and it's in your body. And I'm gonna show that. I know I was supposed to do that last night, but I forgot. I'll go over that soon. I'm just trying to move along as fast as I can. So these are rare earth elements on Earth, right? So when I see this in gematria with the whole Jesus Christ 151, it was like, wow, like it goes into this definitely. I don't miss anything. Genesis 28:12. We're looking at Jacob's ladder. Jacob departed from the Beersheba and went toward Haran. He came to the certain place and spent the night there because of the sun had set. And he took one of the stones of the place and put it under his head. And leaned down on that place, he had a dream. And behold, a ladder was set on the earth, with its top reaching to the heaven. And behold, the angels of God were ascending and descending on it. And behold, the Lord stood above it and said, I am the Lord, the God of your father Abraham, and the God of Isaac. The land of which you lie, I will give it to you, your descendants. Genesis, whatever. So this is referring to Jacob's ladder. This is we're looking at a certain place spent the night there, like the sun, looking at the sunset, right? You go on the top of the ladder, which is the again Jacob's ladder is goes in reference to your 33 vertebrae. Who is that rise up the ladder? Um, but yeah, the stone. Put the stone under his head. Stone under his head. Okay. So Father Abraham. Abraham is the son of the ram. What did I say earlier about the about Aries? He rules the head and the face, right? So what is the head? Also the crown, which is what he was talking about, because the sun has set and took one of the stones of the place and put it under his head, right? That's relation to the sun. That's the father and son, and the Holy Spirit basically is the son, all the same thing. Um, ascending and descending, and Lord of God, Father Abraham, and analyze it. Remember, in the Bible, he made Abraham also burn his son in a pit of fire. He burned Isaac, right? So Abraham is the son of the ram. We know that. That's the Aries head face. That's what he rules. If the head is on top of I mean, if the head is up here, then the crown is the seventh chakra, right? So we're dealing with the matters of your higher self and your spirit, your spiritual self. So you went over that. So the ram, the father is the head ruled by the ram. Yep. Rise of the dragon. And this is a very interesting one right here because the fact that we're going into a dragon year, which is why I had to do this one too this year. I mean to end this month going into entering the dragon, right? So it's all connected. So whenever you see the spiritual symbolism that relates directly to divine personal relation or to direct communion with the divine, then that symbolism is always pertaining to the individual's own energetic body, means it's transcending the physical barriers of the life. The symbolism describes the union itself. The union itself. Union of yourself. In short, we each contain the divine spirit, known elsewhere and perhaps most understood as the phenomenon known as the Kundalini. Kundalini is the very energy of creation itself, the Holy Ghost. It is everything that makes us conscious. It resides right now within us, just awaiting our honest attempt to awaken the communion with it directly. When it is dormant, this leaving energy lays coiled in the pelvic floor at the base of the spine. Right? Right here. Right there. Right there. Right there. So the base of the spine, because it is laid coiled in this restful manner, it has been given the symbol of the snake. And when it begins to roll, it feels somewhat like moving fire, not necessarily unpleasant sensation, though it has so the risen from Kundalini has been given symbol of the fiery serpent, a dragon. Yes, definitely. It's I'm sorry, the fiery serpent, right? Not fury, but the fiery serpent. So I was just talking about the whole burning the charcoal shit like that. Yeah, when I feel my Kundalini rising, that's the way it feels. It feels like I feel like something is moving in there. It's fucking. It's just like it's burning and it's just moving up. It's a weird feeling, but it's it's a sign of enlightenment. It's a sign of connecting with self, connecting with that divine spark. So when we go over still the 33, right? It goes into 33 degrees. 33, the number of the master teacher. 33 degrees of knowledge. The esoteric connection with 33 and Jacob's ladder. The biblical story of Jacob's ladder is also informs us that ancients had an understanding of the electrobiological system of mankind. The writers used the number 33 symbolically, but modern science helps us decode the true meaning. So let's decode the meaning of 33 esoterically. Let's close this down. Right in here. Really quick. Okay. So deeper symbolic meaning of 33. All right. In the abbreviated version, decoding the symbolic meaning of 33 illustrated in a nutshell how its most sacred numbers represent an individual that has mastermind and emotions in essence. 33 is somebody that discovers their true nature, right? So if you it says here, if you're visiting this page, The powerfulness of perception. Essentially, the masses of mankind are deluded, blind, ignorant. Yes, I did say that, and yes, I do mean that. You do not see reality of a situation until you expand your conscious awareness and unveil the truth. True. I stand with that. What we experience in life is merely a perception projected from our subconscious mind, and we assume this projection is the one and true reality, which is not. And one thing I would like to address really quick that I don't like to use the term subconscious mind because for me, sub means substitute, and I don't like to substitute anything to do with my mind. So I like to use the term upper conscious mind or higher conscious mind, right? So that makes more sense. Because then you can deal with sub, it's like a submarine, you're underwater, and you're in, where you're at. You're substituting your conscious mind. There's no room for substitution. So, in that nutshell, let's continue. Your conscious mind is only partially aware of what actually happens. The rest is perception. Story fabricated for your benefit, except oftentimes story is not beneficial. This projection is based on information we have told by our parents, teachers, family, peers, and TV. Messages varies the sources where we got information. Sources of this information manifest limited beliefs and 10,000 things of Satanism, which are all effective. All this limited information and experience are subsequently stored in the upper conscious mind and manifests as ego. This is what problems really start. Ego is your false personality, your material desires, your delusion about life. Ego is your enemy. It's not really your enemy. It's your friend. It's to serve you, not you serve your ego. You make the ego your amigo for it to serve you. Even we know that it's time to fight your ego. An alter ego tries to stop you. You have a lot of egos. Yeah, we do. Battle with yourself. There's always a you versus you. Absolutely. You have noticed the ancient myths mention many battles. You find these scenes attached into the walls and temples to archaeologists and historians. Bless and relate these scenes of historical events. It is true the scenes they will inspire action battles that take place in history because greed, the low ego, during leaders are more. The true meaning is not reflected of warring cultures. The mythological words are symbolic of battle you face with yourself to control your conscience. Absolutely. Modern psychology recognizes the conscious mind is only operational 90 to 95% of the most. It was at 95 again. What did I say about the 65 goes into 95, which is Jesus Christ, blah blah blah. Woo, 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 what I did say about my personal experience. So it showed up in real time. Okay, I didn't make it up. The minority of our decision making comes from the upper conscious mind. It is if the upper conscious mind that makes us habitable, the upper conscious mind also shapes your ego and makes you believe things that are not a reflection of your true nature. As we already established, the symbolic meaning of number 33 is a reflection of an individual that has mastery over the desires of of their subconscious mind. Anyone that attains this level of consciousness, Christ consciousness, is recognized as Buddha. We don't find Jesus, Muhammad, or Buddha fighting anybody. The gods fight, but the gods reflect personality traits of mankind. So God made man in his own image, right? But honestly, the Elohim made man in their image. Elohim says, the Elohim said, let us make man in our image. Elohim is also in it's another time. Another another conversation. Another later time. All right. In Buddhism, there's a story about the descent of a historical Buddha known as the Triya Prismasha heaven. The Sutara said to the Chronicle Buddha, Gautam is descent from Mount Meru, where the 33 gods reside. And then the 33 goes into 6 and 9. Depends how you look at it, right? So 6 is 9 is balance, right? Okay, the Cosmic Heaven has 8 heavens in each cardinal's directions, totaling 32 heavens that composes the central heaven, home to the supreme god Shakara. Shakara is known as the protector of Dharma. Dharma. Dharma is the opposite of karma. It involves living life virtuously according to the noble eightfold path. Karma transforms Dharma. It is by following your Dharma, living life and enlightenment with your consciousness full that you eventually find your Buddha nature, the God within, the energy. That's easier said than done. Not really. It can be done. It's not that hard. Who is God? Shakara? Shakara essentially represents the divine in mankind, man's ability to attain Buddha nature. It still has desires, but is able to control them. For example, he does not want to leave his palace because he is so content there. He even tells his worshippers to be reborn in his kingdom. Now, the Testamentia heaven represents the human mind and body. Its walls are adorned with 7 gems, the 7 centers of or chakras, right? Absolutely. At the center is Lord Chakra, living in pure bliss. The chakra is equivalent to the Hindu god Indra, and the early Vedas, Indra was recognized as the most supreme god. He is recognized as the protector of the military, um, security, and the custody warriors. Here again, we find a constant about it within. The Indra is renewed for his ability to defeat Asuras and the demons of the upconscious mind. Indra's weapon, the Baccarat, is a thunderbolt. The thunderbolt goes into Zeus, Shango, a few other gods. In symbolism, lightning represents the connection between the physical realm and the spiritual realm. In other words, man's ability to connect with or communicate. Also goes into Hermes. Right? He has a thunderbolt as well. With your higher conscious mind, it looks into the concept and other the symbolic meaning of the 33 in Christianity. The number 33 appears in the beginning moments in the Bible. For example, the 33 time Noah's name is mentioned in the Bible is when God promises salvation. And again, God said to Noah and his sons, I'm going to make a solemn promise to you and everyone who will live after you. This includes the birds and animals that come out the boat. I promise every living creature that on earth and those living on it will never again be destroyed by flood. So the rainbow it represents what? The rainbow that I have put in the sky will be my sign to you and every living creature on earth to remind you that I will keep this promise forever. When I set clouds over the earth and a rainbow appears in the sky, I will remember my promise to you and all living creatures. Never again will it be let flood waters destroy on life. When I see the rainbow in the sky, I will always remember the promise that I have made to the living creature. The rainbow, the sign of someone promise. The rainbow represents the 7 chakras. Absolutely, that's all the 7 colors. Remember the 7 jewels and the 33 heavens of the list is similarly between Buddha chakra, promise in God, blah blah blah. What are the chakra energy centers? I already went over this. It's all about transformation, changing habits, battling with yourself, uh, going to eat tricks. So we're talking about just the sacrifices you make for yourself to transfer your energy, to be born as the in Christ, the Buddha of their energy. So what I said earlier, how I want to make, like I said it just the other day too. Like I want to make different changes within my body, the what I eat. Those are my sacrifices for me to me that I want to change to be able to raise up more of my energy to be tapped more into myself. You know, those are my sacrifices for myself, right? To continue to keep raising my 33. So dealing different protect my emotions as well. Yeah. It is a Jake ladder. These the esoteric connection directly in Jacob's letter. The biblical story of Jacob's letter also just that ancients had understanding of the survival system and mankind. The 33 symbolize the modern science, helps us decode the true meaning. Jacob has 33 children with his wife, and 33 times his name is mentioned in scripture. He has a vision of infamous ladder, right? So we kind of already broke down what was the ladder, what was the father, who is Abraham, who is he related to, what did it mean esoterically, right? Who is Abraham is the ram. So we already know in Kabbalistic traditions, the story of Jacob ladder is described to the relationship between man, existence in the two worlds of earth and heaven, body and mind. Heaven is known as the kingdom of God, and God's energy flows through our body and is encoded with the DNA that enables our body to function. So the kingdom of God is within, and those who will know thyself will know this. Those that know thyself will know that the kingdom of God is within. So, because the DNA enables our body to function, the brain that sends the messages, the ascendant angels or angles, which is the angles, the numbers, synchronicity, right? That's how you're able to communicate with these ascendant angles. Okay. Now, the Bible translated two worlds for awareness and angles deliver wisdom. God messages, the angels are the dots that pop into your head with trigger neurotransmitters, chemical messengers in relation to the emotions linked with the thought, right? So the mind body connection, although this is a speculation of my part, DNA is code with the cosmic intelligence of nature. It is pure state and most likely is complete and perfect condition DNA after all its nature. However, what scientists do know is that the DNA is damaged by toxic neurotransmitters secreted by the brain. Furthermore, changed DNA has been linked to debilitating illnesses, toxic chemicals, which is why it's important to clear that gut, which is why I said, like, I want to do the cleansing of my gut. I want to get rid of the parasites, which I do have. I want to be able to get my electors again and do that too because I want to clear off the heavy metals. I want to open up my pineal gland more. Not, I'm not saying that it's not active because it's very active, but if I continue the practice of how I was doing with my elixirs, I will be more tempted, right? These are the sacrifices that I want to do with myself. So they getting rid of toxic neurotransmitters, right, that are in my DNA and can affect my brain, right? So toxic chemicals are released by the brain in relation to fear-based emotions, and the foundation in which is typically stress, because the foods can give you stress as well, right? Although neurotransmitters occur naturally and are designed to protect our physical and emotional survival, fear-based emotions are usually the product of false and faulty emotions stored in the subconscious mind. So Um, the whole stress thing, like I know earlier when I said took I put some essential oil. I use essential oil that's called stress relief. That was very good. That essential oil does calm me down a lot. It really like it just doesn't, I'm not, you know, worried about all kinds of shit. You know, being in this business, still you're gonna worry about certain things. It's just what it is. It's human nature, but you have to control those emotions. So yeah, okay. The human mind is programmed to perceive threats where in fact there is no threat that these are corrupt programs are included by a limiting belief system designed by society and pushed through media, education, political, and religious channels, right? So, so how can we break away from the virus of society by expanding conscious awareness and seeing the real truth, attaining 33 degree of consciousness and climbing Jacob's ladder at will, connecting directly with your higher self. Remember, 33 what? 33 degrees of self, self mastering itself, right? And yesterday we were going into the word Baphomet, where it was coming from Islam, supposedly, and I broke down Islam, what Islam means. Islam means I self Lord and master, or I self law and master. You get it? So again, we're tapping into 33 degrees of knowledge of self. So, but what is esoteric significance of Jacob's ladder? Exactly. Where the human spinal column has 33 bones, Jacob has 33 children. The vertebrae start of the root chakra and at the base of the brain en route to the crown chakra. Remember, who rules the head? Who is the crown? Who is king? Let's get it, baby. What you talking about? I was born for this. What you mean? I was made to do this. What you talking about? So, well, the human spinal column has 33 bones. Jacob has 33 chakras. Got the children. Instead of the root chakra. Okay, we read that. The other brain channels message between the brain, rest of the body, through the central nervous system, together with the prosmomagnetic and sympathetic nervous systems. For the writer, not who cares. This is Jacob's ladder with the which the angels, messengers, do synchronicities of source, energy, ascent, and descent. Notice I say, God, I am generated, operated, destroyed. How about that? Now, 33 and the star of David. Forget David. There's no such thing that beloved, get out of here. You know, you're talking about. I'll take more that star of what? Not David. Say that much. Knowing about the flow of energy is not enough to understand how you can channel every effectively. But again, we find clues in the object meaning the number 33, the time, this time in relation to what? King, not David. Not David, I'll tell you that much. The Bible tells us that what? The king who? What? Ruled the Jews for 40 years. However, he must pay particular attention to the number of years during his reign as they are significant. So, again, the first phase of his rule was only over the tribe of Judah. This lasted for 7 years. Seven what? Seven chakras represented seven energy centers of the body. The seven chakras are positioned along the spine and play a significant role in the stability of energy. So Jesus born on 25th of December. That's five. Two and five is seven, right? Uh, okay. After ruling Judah for 7 years, King David is then said to have ruled over Israel for 33 years. Israel gets the name from Isis, the female principle, Ra, lower consciousness, and El, higher consciousness. El, El, El Elohim, baby. Elohim, and not. How about that? Ooh, let's bake it up. Principle Ra, Ra, not the so original sun god, but still, just give him his props, right? Because there's those that came before Ra. And interesting point. Like I'm in Chicago, right? Illinois. When I looked at Illinois, I broke down Illinois. ISIS is like Illinois, baby. So this is why I'm still here. So I'm here in Illinois, right? Like it's a ISIS energy, baby. You know. So yeah, I'm a true 33, right? It's in my blood, 33. It's in my name, the 33. It's in my initials, to be honest. You know. But that's another conversation for another time. I can't try to break that. At this point, like I don't care who knows my name. See, my name has power. Everything about me has power. We all have power, but when you study yourself, you get to know more and more about yourself. So, I'm hearing that song, Call Out My Name. Oh, okay. So let's go. Here we have the three aspects of consciousness: higher and lower thoughts, which typically trigger emotions. Kind, this fool David is associated with defeating demons. Battle mankind is a face in order to climb Jacob's ladder and to ascend into the higher realms of consciousness. It is by having the right thought, right emotion, and right action that we present consciousness as doing. We also overcome our demons. Our demons, we make them a part of you. You don't overcome. Imagining with the start of whoever this person is symbolically explains the importance of balancing thoughts and emotions. You can track whether you are raising your conscious awareness by not actually the theory collectively. I mean, no, cultivate a determination to seek an understanding of wisdom and teach others how they can also raise consciousness awareness. And that's what I've been doing, teaching. How about that? The negative action of 33 manifests as feelings of superiority, according to some sources. It can feel to add the fanaticism and martyrdom, which is the Catholic Church identified the murders with saints. Yeah, but forget the Catholic nonsense. All right, well, that was a good read. You know, we got the broke down what the Jacob ladder is as well. So Let's stop sharing that. Let's get back into the presentación para acabar esta madre. Ya me lo acabamos. Gifts under the tree. So this is what it means when you put your gifts on the tree. Start putting your own gifts under the tree. Your spiritual DNA. Your God gene. Oh my God. There's a such thing as a God gene? Of course. There's such thing as spiritual DNA? Of course. God gene. The God gene hemodialysis proposes that human spirituality is influenced by hereditary and a specific gene called the vascular monomer transported to the VMAT2 predisposes humans towards spiritual or mystic experience of generational nature. Generational nature. Remember the image of God touching Adam? That's what that is. I mean, touching Adam, Adam, whatever. Same shit. Okay, so why is it that they call our junk DNA? Why is it called junk DNA? If anything, it's your spiritual DNA. It shouldn't be called junk DNA. There's nothing junk in you at all. It's DNA, which is spiritual DNA. So the secrets of a potential spiritual DNA lie in the accurate interplay between our genes and our spiritual experiences, while our genetic makeup provides a framework. Our spiritual practices and beliefs shape the expressions of these genes. Through mindfulness, meditation, prayer, other spiritual practices, we can activate specific genes, promote well-being, resilience, and sense of connectedness. Furthermore, our spiritual experience and molecular weight genes are expressed, resulting in measurable changes. I'm sorry, measurable changes in our brain structure and function. Nice, nice, nice. I like this. The zero ones, the zero ones. These are codes, right? We're gonna get into that right now. Notice zero ones is binary. The matrix is the symbol of waking. In addition, represents a connection to higher realms of consciousness. Zero one is also seen as a symbol of awakening. This is because the binary code can be interpreted as a pattern of alternating zeros and ones, which suggests a movement between polarities. The movement can be seen as a metaphor for a process of awakening, which involves moving from a state of duality to a state of unity. Unity! Remember the Matrix movie? Right? Who is the unity? Divine feminine and divine masculine, which is the Trinity, and Neo. Neo, the one, right? And Trinity, that feminine essence of God, the supreme being. That's who she is. Or they got a Sophia, right? We were talking about Trinity last night. So overall, the spiritual significance of zero ones is that it represents a connection to higher realms of consciousness and a symbol of awakening, right? So let's see if I can pull this. Okay. I'm having fun, to be honest. I swear to you, I really do miss doing this. It'd be nice once I start having like a crowd of people and people enjoying the vibe and the information, you know. But I'm still enjoying this, just doing this by myself. Truthfully, I am. It's like I'm enjoying this, and I really am. This is, you know, where I'm spending my this New Year's Eve. But we already know New Year's is not until my season, baby. But still, you know, that's how I'm spending my Saturday night, doing what I love to do. Excuse me. So what is the first remaining decoding the binary code significance? So zero ones is the number that gained polarity in recent years due to its supposed spiritual significance. It's not supposed spiritual significance. It is spiritual significance. So just like, see, the binary code and coding in computers is zero ones and zero ones. That's the code. That's our code. And we also have the same code within our DNA. We have the zero ones within our DNAs, which is why when we are tapping into these codes, the matrix or matrix, it works with us. It's letting us know that it's aware of us and we are aware of it. So we now have a bridge within the spiritual and the physical, right? It's the bridge. So it's like we are, and then this when you start getting the more intense numbers within the code. So, and you start seeing these angle numbers. I don't like call them angel numbers or angle numbers or synchronicity, right? So yeah, this is where it's coming from because you're part of the matrix. And I put a video up early last time. I don't know how long this was, but it was a video about the glitch in the matrix, how we're causing the glitch in the matrix. Um, it's a short, it's one of the short videos that I did. I shared it I did it on TikTok and I shared it into the channel. But yeah, check that out. But yeah, we're causing a lot of shit that's happening within this whole the matrix shit, right? Because we're glitching it, you know. The more we're waking up and we're playing with with uh with source, we're playing the game now. We're doing some you know, we're like the Trojan horse to the whole fucking matrix. So YouTube, before you jump the gun on some shit, because I said Trojan horse, I didn't say, you know, anything. This is for educational purposes, not to take anything away from your gimmick, right? I was trying to silence somebody because of certain keywords or whatever. But yeah. So the terminology is often used to interpret the meaning behind numbers and zero ones and one zeros. There's no exception. Some numerologists believe that the sequence presents a balance between the physical and spiritual rules, while others see a symbol for formation and age. It's the same. It's the balance between physical and spiritual, but there's also a transformation and change. Absolutely. Regardless of the interpretation, it is clear that the zero ones and zeros has captured the intention of many spiritual seekers who are looking for deeper meaning in their lives. So, key takeaways: 0 0 1 0 1 1 0 is a binary sequence that gain polarity for its post spiritual significance. Numerology is often used to interpret meaning behind 0 1 0 0 0 1 blah, blah, blah. It's some seen a symbol, balance, and transportation. I mean transformation. Despite its growing popularity, the true origin and significance of 0 0 1 0 0 1 remain a mystery. It's not really a mystery, just got played. The origins of 0 0 1 0 1 1 1 zeros, a first meaning of has become an increasingly popular topic in recent years, with many people seeking to understand its origins and begins. The term itself is derived from binary code, which is a system of representing data using only digits 0 and 1, and binary code 0 0 1 0 1 1 0 versus the number 42. And I see that number 42 a lot, even in a lot of movies. So also 42 also goes into what? Six, right? So six is a very significant number as well. Six is also the number, yeah, is a number of Venus. Six is also masculine in its essence, and the nine is feminine. So either way you look at the six, you flip it around, it looks like nine. So yeah, remember there's the balance between everything. So 42 is often associated with spiritual alignment and the meaning of life. So 42 is associated with spiritual enlightenment in the meaning of life. The origins of 0 0 1 0 1 1 0 spiritual meaning can be traced back to the popular science fiction book, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Doug Adams. 42 is real too, like the adder. Quantum blind reverse everything. It has many people to believe that 001 is a symbol of spiritual alignment and the pursuit of knowledge and understanding. It definitely is. Because what did Neo do? He had more purpose, um, enlightenment within his understanding of who he was, and understanding that he was the one, which is you could also get Christ, Christ being the one, right? It all in relation to the Son as well. So it's interesting too. You see 42. Now, by the way, I thought about the 42 laws. The 42 laws, right? I gotta get that book. I used to haven't read one yet. To get that book. So, in addition to association with the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy 0010110, there's also been linked to the various other spiritual philosophical concepts. Some people believe that the number represents the balance between the masculine and feminine energies. It does, and the universe, while others see it as a symbol of interconnectedness of all things. Yes, it's all connected. Everything is all in what it is, right? Every meaning of what it is, this binary code. Despite its somewhat mysterious origins, the spiritual meaning of 00100 continues to resonate with many people around the world, whether it represents pursuit of knowledge, monetary energies, or something else entirely remains a powerful symbol of spiritual growth and understanding. Absolutely. Numerology and 00100 whatever. Numerology is a study of numbers that are special. The spiritual significance, many people believe that numbers are hidden meanings that can provide insight into our lives and universe. In numerology, the number zero represents potential and new beginnings, while the number one represents individuality, leadership, and new beginnings. The number two represents balance, harmony, and partnerships. Yes, it does. When these numbers are combined by creative number 001 or 010, a number believed to have spiritual meaning related to balance, harmony, and new beginnings. It is often associated with the idea of finding balance between the physical and spiritual worlds. I feel like I'm reading this. Oh, it's like a repeat. Mm, mm, mm. So if I really feel like that, I can read this. Continue. Let's go into this. Okay, binary code represents the number 42 is the decimal form in spiritual circles. The number 42 is often associated with the concept of ascension, which refers to the process of moving from a lower level of consciousness to a higher level of consciousness. Those the spiritual significance of 0010110 is that it represents connection to higher realms of consciousness. Absolutely. Okay. Now, it seems like it's just going over the same thing over and over again. I really want to continue doing the same thing over and over again. We already understand the concept of 0 1 0 1s, how its relation even to the matrix and to us, that we are part of the matrix and we're part of this system of 0 1s or 0 1s or 0 0 1s or whatever. Just trying to move along, y'all. Like I'm just like, let's go, let's do this now. 31. The Eve gene, do we all descend from a common female ancestor, just like mom? Now, I already told you what the Eve meant. Eve is time. It's like today's New Year's Eve, right? So let's make that clear so we can have better understanding and not categorize this as one class of people thinking they're the supreme beings and everything comes from them. We're not going there, you know. So just like mom. And one thing I just want to state real quick, like just recently I started studying my mom's side of her family, right? And her maiden name, right? It goes into I was studying the meaning of her maiden name, and it went into the occult. It went into that's magic, right? That's where I get my witchy energy from, right? It goes from that line of her side of the family. The occult, um, my spirit, my everything of my spiritual practices comes from her line. And I was like, wow, very interesting, right? Because it was just recently that I did that, and then I went more deeper into my father's side of his line, and that's where I got my psychic, my intuition from as well. Um, yeah, it was just like, yo, these names that we have, you start doing the studies of just the names that you have. For me, it's like I don't look at it. It's my government name because, to be honest, I named myself, and I'll go into that. And once that's another conversation for another time. And when I do that, I'm gonna make more sense of why do I how why I am who I am, why do I see things the way I do, and why I'm here, right? So I just wanted to bring that up to like the whole mother line, the Eve gene, right? That's why all we all share the same common ancestor, because it's all really coming from mother, la mera mera, right? So just like mom, the genetic material you carry in the form of nuclear DNA are the result of a merger between your mother's and your father's DNA, a merger called recombination. MT the recombination, yeah, recombination. mtDNA, however, almost exclusively derives from your mother. Yes, it does. Just like I was just stating, that my occult background, the work I do, my spirit, the spiritual things I do, my shaman lineage is all coming from mother, right? So this is because the egg of a female human contains lots of mtDNA, while male sperm contains a bit of microRNA. A generation power the cell that contains it and sperm use a few micro these fucking words microglia entail to the power the race toward the egg for fertilization. These microdernian or microdurian are destroyed after the sperm fertilizes the egg, and those that any empty DNA that could be passed on from the father's side is lost. That means that the empty DNA is inherited solely from the material line. Only the mother's side survives from generation to generation. A mother who gives birth only to sons will see her mDNA lineage lost. Examination of the mtDNA so far has yielded only rare, unusual cases where the paternal mtDNA survives and passes into the child. Thankfully, for my mother, a mother who gives birth only to sons will see her lineage lost. Thankfully to my mother, I was her only son, and after me, she had my sisters. So it's funny because comparing to my sisters, I'm the one that's really more thin, right? I'm the one that's really doing work. So yeah, I carry that a lot within my DNA. So that's not necessarily true, unless I guess if it was just like she had nothing but sons, then just maybe and maybe not because like I said, like I was her firstborn and her only son. And then it was my sisters after that. And it was just three of us. A trinity, baby. What you talking about? Everything happens for reasons, y'all. Keep telling you. So the spiritual line, right? So this is coming from mom. And what I just say about my mother's line, right? You know, I'm studying her maiden name, right? So the spiritual line, aka Ma, from A is mother. The microdrial DNA, your mom's story. Have you uh, have you ever wondered why you want to do a test to test your microglial DNA that would what would a microglial how you say this fucking word, yo, like I gotta be so hard. You know, I could say it in my head. It's like I don't know why I can say it out loud. Uh, oh, fuck. I think there's something missing though. Is that the right word? Okay, fuck it. Want to test your. Okay, we already said that. What would a um my so I don't mess the word up. Very yeah, like mitochondrial. I'm saying it wrong all the time. Mitochondrial DNA test. My God, there you go. Pa, mitochondrial. Oh, I think I fucked up again. Yeah, I hear my son laughing over there. He's laughing at me. He's a trip. So mitochondrial. It doesn't want me to say it. It doesn't want me to say it. My my mitochondrial 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 DNA test tell you about your ancestors. What would it mean to you, and how would it help your genealogy? It will mean a lot, right? If you like most genealogists, you want to know every single bit you can discover about your ancestors and your microgeneal DNA. Not only that tells us about people we match that are currently living that share ancestors with us at the same point in time, but it also reaches back beyond the range of what genealogy in the traditional sense can tell us, past the time when usernames were peering into the misty veil of the past. Every single one of your ancestors have their own individual story to tell, and if you really want to know who you are and where each ancestral line come from, the microgeneal DNA is the insider story in your mother's paternal line. Absolutely. That's the story. Gotta go to your mom. Go to mom first. You get your genealogy right through your mother. And it's very easy. Just study the last names, right? Study the maiden name. And you're gonna get a lot more sense of what that name means and how you can connect more to yourself. One thing about tell you about like the DNA when you do a DNA test. There's certain sites that tell you that this is for entertainment purposes only. So not even the DNA you can trust. See, when you think about DNA tests and your genealogy and all this other shit that people are doing nowadays, that's physically. That's activating. That's operating in the physical realm. But when you go more deeper into it spiritually, it's more mind blowing because you're connecting more to your ancestors because you're tapping more into that lineage that's in your blood, right? You're tapping into that sangre, and you're operating in that, and how your ancestors, how were your ancestors. So you're operating in that lineage that you have, right? It's when you get your practices, your rituals, your ceremonies and shit like that from, right? So not everything has to be physical. Don't get me wrong, I'll be willing to do a DNA test and study more of my genealogy, but it's already been mind blowing just the information I gathered just by doing the work. So I've already connected myself to the omics. I already connected myself to a lot of other different lineages and bloodlines I have, right? Just through my practices, my understanding of where I'm at, and my journey of myself. Remember, the whole journey of self is knowing yourself to the T, right? Not everything has to be physical. And that's the thing, that when we think of everything being physical, we miss the spiritual part of it, right? We miss that the main essence of that spiritual wisdom or knowledge of self. Do you get me? So it all starts from your mother studying the macro, the mitochondrial DNA, the mitochondrial DNA. There we fucking go. We keep saying that mitochondrial DNA, mitochondrial DNA. Took a stick, right? Study that shit, and you can be all good. I'm not saying that mitochondrial DNA is crap. It's just that word is special. That word is special, yo. Like, you know. So, yeah, I don't like tying the whole the whole Eve gene like is a biblical story because we already know that what Eve really represents, right? So to me, Eve equals time, and this is the perfect time to analyze this because what is today, right? So we already went over binary numbers, right? We already went over binary numbers. So let's just get a better, deeper understanding what is why is Eve time? Well, look at today, New Year's Eve, right? It's gonna be the drop of the apple. Let's put this together, y'all. Where I know we're not fucking completely clueless. I know there's a lot of people that don't have a lot of common sense, and there's a lot of people that are clueless. But I know there's a lot of us that ain't clueless and have a lot of common sense. Let's just put it just together like a puzzle. Eve is time, Merry Xmas, right? Merry Xmas, Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, Eve is time, X is 10. These are the Roman numerals, right? The Roman numeral numbers, X is 10, right? So what is X again? Right? It goes into what? The mitochondrial DNA. I said that right. Should. Okay. So so now we got 10 matrix, right? Ma. 10 equals matrix is ma. Trix equals mother. That's the code. And we already went over the binary code of the zero ones ones. Zeros fin is the feminine. And one masculine is the masculine, the line, masculine, mother, father, spiritual line. That's combining the two, merge. Can't have one without the other. Studying both. So we finally done with the presentation. I just want to go over some material that I was looking at. Let me find it. Go. The stuff that I shared. And yeah, let me just quick because there's still a little bit more I want to cover about the rise of the Christo. That was just a presentation to give it more understanding, and then I wanted to show a couple other things too. Before I forget, plus we still got here. We got good timing. Tomorrow, I'm not looking forward to get up anytime early, so I just sleep in. I don't feel hungry yet either. The tea actually was really good. I finished it. I made me a nice pot of tea. It was what you call it it was passion flower and mugwort. Really good stuff. Yeah, that's one of them. I'm going to my bookmarks. So bear with me. I found one that I wanted to show. This, I think was yeah, all right, all right, all right. Because I have a lot of bookmarks, yo. Like, as parents start presenting things in 2020, I have a lot of bookmarks, a lot of receipts, basically, we call them, right? And these receipts are really good. I save them. I don't get rid of them. I got a lot of stuff in here. But something's telling me it's not in DuckDuckGo. It's in my other browser. Let me go to. Let's go here real quick. This other one. This one. It's yeah, that presentation was really good. I did my best not to mess up all kinds of words. You know, it's okay. I really don't care about getting certain words right. I look at English as a bastardized language, right? So, to me, it doesn't. It's not really important. As long as I understand the words, the meanings, and I can read it in my mind. It sounds really good. It's not chopped up in my head. Like it really, like in my mind, it's like, it's, it's yeah, it's dope. Okay, now I found one of them. Okay. A ratito, Junior. In a little bit. There was time I had to close down the browser. Once I did that, I did save the bookmarks. I got to get a lot. And maybe that's a good sign. Well, keep me here longer if I go into all kinds of different readings. So this one that was really interesting. And she really good though. Yeah, this one. Okay. So we'll do two of 'em. This one. We'll just read some of it. I don't want to go too much into it. You share. Uh, okay, this is gonna go over the pineal, right? Portal of higher dimensions. Um, says one of the most wondrous parts of our physical body is the pineal gland. It's also called the epiphysis cerebri, the infusorium, or the mind's eye. It's a small inner gland in the vertebral brain. The brain, it produces serotonin, and melatonin, the hormones that affect mood and modulate our awake sleep patterns and seasonal functions. It shapes resembles a tiny pine cone. Remember I said earlier about it's the pine cone. Hence the name is Lenia, which means pine cone. It's located near the center of the brain in the two hemispheres of the through where the two rounded dynamic bodies join. We already know that. So even though the gland is hidden deep inside the brain, is only the size of a pea. It has been an almost functional obsession of masters, mystery schools, and religions. Uh, that's way back. Throughout the ages, Rene Descartes, a famous philosopher, dedicated much of his time, life, in studying the pineal gland, stating it is the principal seat of the soul. Absolutely. I said that earlier. He believed in the connection between the physical body and the mind soul. We also see it plain, primarily in the writings of Pythagoras, Plato, uh, Plato, and Nicholas, well, is Egyptian and the Roman Catholic Church. It is here mentioned by the founding fathers of the USA. Get the his ain't no founding fathers. Get out of there with that. One of the most central figures in Egyptian mystery schools, myths, and Horus. We already know that Horus is not that eight, wasn't first. I already went over that earlier. Many of the Horus would be the third eye, pineal gland seems to be. Yeah, we already know this. So I wanted to go with a pine cone, right? This is what the priest or the pope uses this on his staff, and then also uses that on his hat. This for the Vatican. So, they guide our us. You know, the pine cone lives on the pineal gland of human fetus around 21 days, and responding to the light and darkness, it responds to the boat. Even though it is hidden deep inside the brain, it is the, the photoreceptor cells that bear very strong resemblance to the retinal cells of the eyes. And some species like lamprey, jawless blood-sucking lampfish, and the the tutor reptile, the pineal gland has access to the surface of the skin And the forearm opening acts as the third eye with photo perception, having the corneal lens of and the retina. In humans, and the pineal gland sets up out of the cardian rhythms. The melatonin is stimulated by darkness and inhibited by light, or it will have an organ buried deep inside our brain that responds to light. So it's also, let's go into this. The mind side, we already know that. Even though the pineal gland is geographically in the center of the brain, it does not separate itself from the rest of the body with the blood-brain barrier (BBB), which the rest of the brain maintains. The internal portion of the pineal gland contains experimentally coherent water with small crystal response to the pulsatory frequencies. In fact, the water is pure and incoherent. It's hard to find this purity anywhere else in nature except in the microtubules in the cell. Rudolf Steiner, a well-known scholar of the esoteric mystery schools, argued that the legend of the Holy Grail and chalice filled with the waters of life, or elixir of immortality, is yet another symbolic reference to the pineal gland. And recent Steiner entitled "The Mysteries of the Holy Grail" establishes detailed connection between the Grail legends of the pineal gland. The Holy Grail is also associated with each of us in the castle of the skull, which we get the three skull bones from. That's why I went over that. And can nourish our subtlest perceptions in a way that dispels the but and most refined material influence. So, all right, let me get the EMT. Want to take me a trip with that? Stretch out a little bit. So we should already know this, but we are kind of covered a lot of this. What about the panel already too? I really just wanted to go over the pine cone, right? To break that down. Um, I was looking at this. Let's go over this. This is the Lendian conspiracy. Yeah, I already went over the trio. We ignored the Northology. See how this goes all the way back to the Mayan, right? So yeah, a lot of this is very goes way back all the way to the Mayans and the Aztecs. The tree of life goes all the way to them too. First tree of the world. Okay. Yeah, so then you got the ancient Egyptians as well with the tree, right? But we predate that too. The Mayans predate the Egyptians. You know, that's another form of Christmas tree. And then we can look at this. We covered this. Some of this I think was it yesterday. Like person of the cube of Saturn. It was in the Saturnarian uh Saturn early, and it's like Christmas basically too. The Santa. The Omics have this too. I did a TikTok on this day before yesterday. The Omic statues have that thing on their head. So they get that off. Must. All right. Now, this is something definitely I want to go over real quick. And this is very important too because understanding more the 666 and how the carbon 12 is very important. We've already seen that. I showed you an atomic number. What was it? 151. That also went into was it EU? EU63, right? And 63 goes into 9, 7, 8, 9. So we are the gods of arms that make up ourselves, but we are also the arms of the gods that make up the universe. Mendenhall was a 33-degree Freemason, right? He had a lot of Masonic knowledge from us. The number 666 relates to the carbon atom in man. Carbon 12, one of the 5 elements of the human DNA, is composed of 6 protons, 6 electrons, and 6 neutrons, which equates to 666. Carbon 12 is the most abundant of two stable isotopes of the element carbon, accounting for 98.89 of carbon. Its abundance is due to the triple alpha process by which it's created in the stars. As Carl Sagan had once said, we are made of star stuff. Correct. Oh, wrong one. The cheering. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Again, I hope I can get. I even forgot about the rule. Okay. So the English name carbon comes from the Latin carbo for coal charcoal. I said that earlier, right? So what does charcoal need to be burned, or what does charcoal need to be lit? And it's fire, baby. So which also comes from the French carbon, meaning charcoal. Proof of 666 is found in the Bible via Isaiah 6:6. Then one of the seraphim flew to me with a live coal in his hand, which he had taken for the tongues from the altar. I use those coals a lot when I want to burn my risen, and I have to use tongues to place it on my altar for it to be burned, right? So the name seraphim, meaning the burning ones, are the first um hierarchy of angels who come all demons that were cherubim, the thrones. Beelzebub was the prince of the seraphim just below Lucifer. Lucifer is another word for Prosperous. The Latin word corresponds to the Greek Prosperous, and we've seen that over and over. Last night, we've seen that even in this lecture, right? We were looking at Prosperous. It said something else, but it was a little bit longer. But we caught like the Prosperous. So that also goes into the naming meaning light bringer is the morning star. When Porphyrius is combined with the elements below in carbon, it forms our very DNA. So the bright morning star is also Venus and also Quetzalcoatl, which was Quetzalcoatl is also Tahuti, which Quetzalcoatl was the feather serpent dragon, right? And I belong to the clan. I belong to the feather serpent clan in Mexico. So when combined with oxygen and hydrogen, carbon can form many groups of important biological compounds, including sugars, lignins, phytins, alcohol fats, aromatic esters, castraneous terpenes, nitrogen, alkaloids, and in addition to sulfur, it also comes from antibiotics, amino acids, and rubber products. Rubber products. With the addition of phosphorus to these other elements, it forms DNA and RNA, the chemical code that carries of life, and adenosine trioxide, the trioxide, the most important energy transport molecule in all living cells. So now let's just get to here. The phosphate groups and sugars from backbone of each strand of DNA, RNA. Phosphate is also a component of DNA, RNA, ATP, and also phospholipids that form all cell membranes. Phosphorus, Lucifer, is the spark in our DNA that makes us fire. So when what we're talking about the divine spark, that divine spark is what is coming from the Prosperous, right? The divine spark, okay, that makes us fire. So with the 666 of carbon is combined with the elements above and mixed with Lucifer, aka Prosperous, we get a combination or reaction of chemical elements that forms DNA and RNA. The magical given chemical code carrier is a very code for life. And of course, is the number of man is number of his 666 neutrons, 6 protons, 6 electrons, 600 three score and six various chemical elements would combine with carbon forms our very material reality, or what some call the matrix. And we already went over the matrix. What is the matrix? 010101s, right? So yeah. So here we go with that. And stop the share. Yeah, I'm just about done here. Now I want to just go over a little bit. What is the Christ oil from my personal readings, my own personal studies. Okay, so the rise of the Christ oil. Oil is the Christ. This is the holy oil that is called Christos in Greek. This is the story of the Christ within all of us. The oil is sec- is secreted by the cerebrum from the holy claustrum or Santa claustrum. The story of Santa Claus comes from this inner science because Santa is bringing spiritual presence down your chimney. From the cerebrum, the claustrum is then differentiated in the pineal gland and the planetary gland. These glands are known as Joseph and Mary. So the pineal gland releases a masculine electroport portion, which is known as honey, and the pineal gland releases the feminine magnetic portion, which is milk. The secret heavens are also in the holy portions of our brains. This is the lamb flowing with milk and honey, right? So let's go more deep into this. So here's gonna be a more breakdown, right? The Christ oil Christos is symbolizing a sacred or divine substance within individuals, particularly associated with the cerebrum and the claustrum. Santa Claus drawing a parallel line between the story of Santa Claus is the inner science of Christ oil, suggesting that spiritual gifts are delivered within, right? So when we talk about the spiritual gifts delivered within, that's what coming from your spiritual eye, which is your pineal gland, your mind's eye, right? The first eye. And these gifts are also called our sixth sense, our intuition. Not only that, this is in correlation to your God gene, which is your spiritual DNA, right? These are the gifts, and we put our gifts under a tree. What we're doing, we're doing the injustice to ourselves because we're not tapping into our spiritual gifts. This is what I want you to have a Santa Claus and have a Christmas tree and put your gifts under a tree, right? So the cerebrum or claustrum represented the source of Christ's oil, drawing a connection to the term Santa. That claustrum possibly linking to the idea of sacred enclosure, right? So the pineal gland and the pituitary gland, as Joseph and Mary, symbolizes the differentiation or different titration of the Christ oil into masculine, feminine aspects, drawing a parallel to the biblical figures Joseph and Mary. Honey and milk is representing the masculine electro and feminine magnetic portions released by pineal and pituitary glands, respectively. Okay, land flowing with milk and honey is referring to the sacred heavens within the brain, suggesting a spiritual abundance or richness, right? So it's essential to note that these interpretations are highly symbolic and metaphorical, and they are symbolic interpretations very widely. Individuals or groups have different perspectives and such allegorical connection between anatomy and spirituality. but this is to be true. So the rise of the Christ oil implies a transformative or ascending process of the inner spiritual substance akin to the rise of Christ consciousness or enlightenment. Differentiation of pineal and pituitary glands highlighted in the distinct roles of the pineal gland, masculine electrical and planetary gland, the pituitary gland, feminine magnetic, and the creation and activation of the Christ oil. Joseph and Mary are symbolic figures. Joseph and Mary are often associated with the earthly parents of Jesus in Christian tradition. Here, they serve as symbols of the dual nature of the Christ oil, embodying masculine and feminine aspects. The spiritual presence down chimney drowning a connection between the delivery of spiritual gifts and the metaphorical descent of the Christ oil into one's being used down the chimney as a symbolic pathway. The sacred heavens and the holy rodents in our brain suggest a divine or sacred realm within the human mind, referring the idea that the spiritual journey is an internal process. The story of Santa Claus is an inner science proposing that the collective narrative of Santa Claus is an allegorical representation of this inner spiritual science, reinforcing the idea of delivery of spiritual gifts or enlightenment. Wow. So, also, the pineal gland is connected to the pineal nerve, pituitary gland is connected to the idol nerve. They are known as the Kundalini and the Kuba buffer Akunda buffer, I think that's what it is. These nerves extended all the way down to the spine and to the tree of life. These nerves go down to the sacral plexus and sacrum areas of our body. Lower vertebrae, the sacral plexus holds very strong sexual energy that is beautiful energy that when harvested can turn into an electrical energy that rises back up the brain to the cerebral plexus, and the sacral plexus area is known as Bethlehem. 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 So we did go over the seven chakras. We talked about the sacral and the solar, right? So yes. So the Pignala Adyan nerves, these are terms from the yogic and tantric traditions and Buddhism. The Pingala and the Ida represents the two many energy channels or nadis that run along spine according to the Kundalini Yoga philosophy. Kundalini and Kudapapa. Kundalini is often depicted as cold serpent of the base of the spine, representing spiritual energy. On the other hand, it is a term used in certain esoteric traditions to describe a force that invents this spiritual energy. Now, the tree of life, traditionally, the tree of life is a symbol found in various cultures and religions, often representing the interconnections of all life. In this context, it seems to symbolize the alignment of spiritual energy along the spine. The sacral plexus and the sacrum, these anatomical terms are used to be in a metaphorical sense to represent the lower part of the spine and associated with nerve plexus. The mention of strong sexual energy is the area aligns with some spiritual traditions that associate sacral region, creative and sexual energy, which is why it's important to start using sacred sex energy and go into sex magic or tantric magic, right? That's how you create. Now, harvesting sexual energy. This seems to be suggested spiritual practice of transmuting or redirecting sexual energy for higher spiritual purposes, a concept found in various esoteric traditions, right? Electro energy is rising to the brain, describing the transformation of harvested sexual energy into a form of spiritual or electrical energy that ascends to the brain, possibly lying in the idea of spiritual awakening or enlightenment. The Bethlehem or solar plexus or sacral plexus area, this is symbolic association, linking the concept of Bethlehem known as the Synecdoche Christian tradition with the solar plexus and sacral plexus areas, positively emphasizing transformative control of these energy centers. done that. So yes, this was awesome. So that concludes with today's or tonight's presentation, Rise of the Christ Oil. Now that you have this information in front of you, I hope that next year you're not celebrating Christmas in that way. You're celebrating to rise your Christ oil till you be just as Christ. So what did Jesus said in the Bible? It said, you could do great things as me, or even greater, right? So what are we talking about here? What are we doing? What are we doing? If we're not doing greater things as him, you know, it's a waste of that Jesus. It's a waste of that Christ energy. Yeah, I just like to show off my shit. So yeah, like this was good. This was an amazing broadcast. And I'll go live tomorrow on YouTube just to talk, see what's up, how everybody's doing. But yeah, let's close out this presentation and just say like that it this is we're going into a new time. And we'll talk about more about that time tomorrow. You know, we did talk a little bit about it yesterday, last night, right? So, I'm here. I'm gonna be doing more work on YouTube. You know, like I said last night, everything should be reciprocated. Reciprocating energy, right? It doesn't cost anything for you to like the video. I want to see more engagement. Leave comments. I do reply to my comments. Um, get to know each other more. I leave links. I have left links on my channel with my other platforms that I be using, so you could tap into me more, right? Get to know me more, right? And this is the one. This is not a one man gang, right? Where I want to build a community. So again, I'm not doing this to just do this. I didn't just waste all this time just for myself. I know all this information. I do the work. I don't be playing around. I really end deep into my studies. I really deep into my work. You know, this is not just about this is not about me, right? This is about us. It's me what I doing my purpose, basically. This is my purpose. And I would love to have more people involved. Have I would love to have the right numbers. I'm not one of those people that be on YouTube that just want numbers. As you see, my numbers haven't gone anywhere really. I'm still in the same. Um, I would love it. I'm with engagement. I would love to see what people are on. Like, let me know what did you get out of this information. Let's connect more. I do have a Patreon. I share lots of knowledge, and a lot of my knowledge is free base. Interact. You know. Um, Follow me on my other platforms like a Clubhouse. I like doing rooms in Clubhouse too, which I'm gonna start going to be a little bit more active on Clubhouse. Lately, I've been spending a little bit more time on TikTok, trying to build my TikTok up. Meeting a lot of good people that I've been meeting along the way. Um, I can't wait till I'm able to do lives on TikTok and bring something different over, right? You know, I'm looking forward to a lot of things happening within this time to come, within this year that's coming, right? And I'm just excited for a lot of the changes, and I'm adapting to change. I'm transforming more into myself. I had to go through a lot of fucking process of death and rebirth, right? I'm operating in my 8 personal years, so that means a lot of death and letting go, rebirthing, um, rebranding myself. So that's what I've been doing, rebranding myself. You know, I'm just putting in my work. Like I said, I love what I do. I had fun just by myself. Like nobody was watching, and I was like, in my mind, I'm thinking I have a whole theater of people just watching me and just engaging with me. That's I just get I'm just having fun. I'm having fun, right? That's what it's about. Have fun. Again, like I said last night, I'm not what the fuckery. I like people are literally buying subscribers and buying bots to have numbers. I'm not one of those people. I'd rather invest my money in 3D printers, heat pressers, my merchandise for my t-shirts, and my businesses that I'm launching, my business that I have. I'd rather invest my money in that. Why would I want to waste money on some fucking bots for a channel that's not gonna be organic? I've been doing this in 2020, and since I started, I really put in my work. I'm sitting here for hours. One time I sat here for 5 hours doing a whole presentation. That's real good information. I don't come out here to play around. Like, I mean, yeah, I might mess up my words and but you'll get it. You'll get it. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna get it, right? So it's like, yo, like I'm still here. I'm having fun. Like, hey, I don't care about these words that I mess up. That's the point. The point is the message. If you hear it, you hear it. If you heard it, because it was for you. That's simple. That's it. But again, it's like, like, I don't understand how, like I don't understand people that do that. Like, really, why do you have to pay for bots for numbers? Like, they're not organic subscribers. Like, that's not organic. That tells a lot about the person. Like, if you really have to do shit like that, I see that in the spiritual community. I see that in the conscious community. I see that in these big platforms that have all kinds of subscribers, but yet they don't have big engagement. You will see more thumbs up on that if you have all these subscribers. You'll have more people leaving comments if you have that type of subscribers that have common sense, folks. It's like, yo, this shit is not. This is like it's not. It's not right. And then those that I do have subscribed to me, like I said, the only way that I can get in front of information is engagement. Liking the video and sharing my content it goes a long way, and it's free. It's not costing you anything. Like, I'm giving you my time. Like, I'm sitting here giving you my time. I'm sitting here giving you resources. I'm sitting here presenting information. I'm not getting paid for this. That's what I got my business for. I got my businesses to get paid, not for this. So this is free. So if this is free, engagement is free. It doesn't cost you a damn thing to like the video and share it. It doesn't. It doesn't cost you anything to leave a comment. It doesn't cost anybody nothing. This is all free. Free game, y'all. If I'm showing you a side of me that I want to be organic, that I'm not trying to be like everybody else, like let's buy bots. Let's to raise up my content or whatever. Let's just buy bots and let's do this and do that. No, I'm not with that. Like I said, I'd rather spend my money in my businesses and invest in me and other things instead of doing that. That's not an investment for me. Not like it's not that I can't afford it. Hell, I spent money and 3D printers that cost more than bots. You get what I'm saying? So it's not like I don't have the money. I just rather invest in other things that are worthwhile and that are organic, that have substance, that are gonna pour into me because I pour into it. You feel me? That's the difference. That's how I operate. I'm not like everybody else. I'm not trying to. I'm here to fit out, not to fit in. You get me? I stand out, not to stand in. I'm not with all that jazz. I'm not with it. I'm out of that. Okay. So I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna order some food because not only am I hungry, but my little dude's hungry. So yes, you just have an amazing night. If you're all gonna be out there speaking and driving, whatever, whoever watches this, be safe. Be safe. Don't party too fucking hard. It's not that serious. You know what I mean? And now, not only that, it's not the official fucking New Year, anyways. But set your goals in motion. If something didn't help, something wasn't working from last year, get rid of those goals, do some new shit, and you start getting ready now. When the official New Year starts, you're already good. Okay? So I'll be on here tomorrow. I'll do a live, no presenting, nothing. Taking a break from that. Excuse me. So yes. Again, peace, love, light, always and darkness, peace, y'all. Until Mayana, 7 o'clock, I'll be active. So I'll see you all then.